Now, today's video, we're going to be building a complex app from scratch. And the app that we're going to be building is going to be a fitness app. So this is an app that users can create their own plans, create different workouts, track their workouts, see their workout history, and even use AI to generate their workout split. So this app has it all. And we're going to be using some interesting tools and interesting technologies to achieve it. We're going to be using FlutterFlow for the front end, Supabase for the back end. We're also going to be using GraphQL to make querying a lot easier and a lot user-friendly. And we're going to be using AI to generate complete workout plans for our users. And so this app has it all. Definitely watch this video until the very end. And let me know in the comments below if you have any questions or suggestions. Now, before we get started, as always, all the apps and all the resources that I share on this channel, you can view them and you can also clone them by joining our amazing Patreon community. And if you're not a member, you're greatly missing out. So definitely check out the first link in the description and join our amazing Patreon community. So the app that we're going to be building is going to be a fitness app 2.0. because we're going to be using a brand new stack, and that includes FlutterFlow for the front end, Supabase GraphQL for the back end, and we're also going to be using Claude MCP for some interesting features and functionality that I'm going to be covering in just a second. So here's some screens that I came up with. So we have the login screen. This is the home screen, and so when the user logs in, they see their day, and they see a list of workouts that they have to do. Now, they see this because they initially needed to create a plan. Okay, so this is our plan flow. And when I say create a plan, you can also call it a split. You can call it like a workout. And so the idea is you pick the days, you give it a name. So maybe you're doing like a 5-day split where, one day you do this body part, another day you do this body part, or maybe you're doing like a 3-day split and then you rest one day and then you repeat the split. And so you're going to pick the days, you're going to give it a name, you're going to create a plan, and you're going to have this wizard. And so for the first day, you're going to decide what body part that you're going to be working on. So let's say chest, and it's going to give you a bunch of exercises to add, right? So things like push-ups, bench press, dumbbell flies, chest dip, etc. out of a list of exercises. And you'll be able to search, find the exercises, add them here. And then for each exercise, you need to specify details. So for instance, for push-ups, let's say you add a push-up here. You need to specify how many sets you're going to be doing, how many reps each set is going to consist of that you're going to be using. Okay, and so you're going to add this exercise, and that's going to go become part of your plan. So you're going to keep doing that for all the days. So if you have like a 3-day split, you're going to do it for 3 days. If you have a 6-day split, you're going to do it for all 6 days. And that's going to create your plan, your workout plan, or a split, whatever you want to call it. Okay, now these other screens, they have to do with other parts of the app that we're building, right? So for instance, this app, it needs to list the exercises. And so you'll be able to create an exercise and add an exercise that you may want to use, maybe perhaps because the list of exercises here is not enough. You want to add your own exercise here. And so you'll be able to do it here. We'll also have a feature where we're going to have an AI generator. And this is going to be using this Claude MCP. So the user is going to enter text in the prompt, and they're going to say something like, create a 4-day chest builder, chest and back builder split for me. And so when they click generate, this is what they're going to see. Home muscle builder, 4 days a week, things like that. So it's going to do all of that for them. Okay. And then we also have the workout history screen, right? Essentially where the user will be able to see all the workouts that they have completed, the time, the day, shoulders, the name of the split, the date, so that they can compare and see, okay, so like, a month ago they did, bench press, they used this weight, and now they're using more weight. Okay. And we'll also have a progress screen where a user will see like the workouts this week, the current streak, measurement progress, and, maybe some other things that we'll think of, so that they'll have some nice graphics and charts that's going to display what's happening there. Okay. Now let's talk about the schema. So the schema is going to be fairly straightforward. Okay. So we have the users, and this is a built-in table in Supabase. Okay. We're going to have the user profiles, which is going to have a one-to-one relationship to this user so that we can add more information such as name, goal, equipment, fitness level, maybe some of the other fields. And that is because this table here is read-only. Okay. Next, we have another kind of standalone table, exercises. It's not linked to anything. This is a table that gets linked to by other tables. So this is not, it's not linked to anything. It's just a standard table. Okay. Next, we have the workout plan. So this is the first table in a series of tables that will hold the workout plan data or the splits data, right? So it starts with this one. We link it to user ID. We give it a title, the number of days, the source, and the created ad. Okay. And then, for each day, we create a record here. So workout days, we have the plan ID, we have the day number, and this becomes that workout for that specific day, that split for that specific day. And then we have the workout day exercises. Okay. So on that day, we have a workout day ID, which is this one here, exercise ID, etc., etc. And that way, this has a one-to-many relationship, right? Because you're going to have that one day, but in that one day, you might have, a bunch of exercises that you need to do, right? And so that's going to be here. We also have workout logs so that we can store all the workouts that we have completed. And we also have measurement logs, right? Where you can store your weight, maybe waist information, things like that, so that you can see if you're progressing, right? Things like that. Okay, so this is fairly simple. It's not complicated. The only big thing here is this wizard, right? Because when they create a plan, it needs to go through each of these steps for each day, because it starts with the number of days, and that is how many times this whole wizard will repeat. So if you just do one day, you're just going to have to go through this once. But if you have 3 days, you're going to go through this 3 times. Okay. And that's pretty much it. That's the main thing. Another thing that to keep in mind, right? And this is something that I do anytime I build an app. I start thinking, okay, this is fairly straightforward. Where are the gotchas? Where's the engine? Where's the key here? And this is the main piece, as I just mentioned, but we also have the home screen. When the user loads the app, is going to determine the day of the week. It's going to look up the plan, the split. It's going to see, okay, on Monday, we need, we have maybe a chest and a tricep day. Okay, so it's like the front and the back, right? The tricep is in the back, the chest is in the front. So a lot of people, they do like opposing muscles, right? And so that is something. And so immediately they see, okay, they do this, and then they maybe have a start, because we're tracking the number of minutes, the amount of time that it took you to do the workout. And so we can have a start or something, and then you can check off each of these items, and then maybe you can log them, that you did, set, X amount of sets, X amount for each one, X amount of reps, using that weight, things like that. And so several moving pieces here, but nothing too complicated. But the end result is going to be a very, very useful app. Okay, so the first thing that we want to do is we want to set up our Supabase. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new project in my dashboard here, and I'm going to go ahead and call it Fitness2, and I'm going to have it generate a password. The password doesn't really matter all that much unless you're going to be connecting using some third-party tool, but I rarely, need to know this password. Go ahead and do this. All right, so the project is set up and we are ready to configure our schema. So I'm going to go ahead and do it. But before I do that, I want to create a user for authentication, okay, that we're going to be logging in as. And so for testing, I'm just going to do james@james.com. Now, very, very important. You do not want to forget the password that you use here, because if you do not have access to this email, this is not my email, it's going to be very difficult to reset it. Okay. And you want to make sure that you select this, create a user. All right. So that has been successfully created. And so if we go back to tables, if you go into auth and you go into users, you're going to have this table automatically there, right? And with the user, the record reflecting the user that you have created here. Okay. And that is important to understand, because we're going to be creating tables in the public schema that, will be linked to this table, to this record one way or another. Okay, so let's go ahead and start creating our table. So the first table we want to create is the user profiles, and it's going to have all this, and we need to add name, goal, equipment, fitness level, and the user ID. So I'm going to start with the user ID, and that's our foreign key. I'm going to click here, auth users, and you want to link it to ID over here, and you want to hit save. Next are the regular fields, name, equipment. Okay, and so this is a text. Equipment, I have it as a text as well, but I have it as an array, right? So you can do that. And fitness level is going to be text. So beginner, intermediate, advanced, stuff like that. So these are optional fields, right? It's just we need to have this table so that we can store more metadata about the user, more information about the user. Okay, we're going to hit save. I'm going to go ahead and create that. The next table I want to create is the exercises table. Okay, so this is just a general table. It's not linked to anything, but other tables are going to be linked to it. So this is, we have muscle group, we have description, we have video URL, and that's it. So this is text, and they're all text except the is custom, which is going to be Boolean. So what is is custom? Well, is custom is a flag that lets the system know whether this was created by user, because generally speaking, when we release the app, we're going to populate these exercises so that other people, people can use them in this database. But you'll be able to also create your own, and that's going to be marked as custom. Okay, so that's save. Next table is going to be workout plans, and this is going to need the user ID because now they're going to be linked to a user, title, num days, and this is a split essentially, right? That's where the splits are going to be, 3-day split, 5-day split, etc., etc. Okay, and so this is going to be linked to our user. This is a text. This right here is an integer. You can actually use this one. Go ahead and save that. All right. The next table we're going to be creating is going to be the workout days. Okay. Because, workout plans spans over X number of days, and we need to store these days because for each day we need to configure something. So this is going to need plan ID, and it's going to have a day number, and it's going to have a label. So plan ID is going to be a link to workout plans ID. Day number is just an integer, and label is just text. If you want to, label that specific date as part of the split. Next table on our list is workout day exercises. Okay, so let's see. We have exercise ID. We also have workout day ID. And I like to put this first because that links to the previous table. We also have sets, rest seconds. So this is going to be linked to the previous table. Workout days ID. This is going to be linked to the exercises table. Reps sets is just an integer. Weight is a float. So you could put something like 35.5, 148. In fact, why don't we just make it an integer just to simplify things. Rest seconds is an integer and order is an okay. Let's go ahead and save that. Next table we have is workout logs, user ID, plan ID, day number, completed add. So completed add is actually created add. It's the same thing. Duration minutes, and that's gonna be so okay. So this is plan ID. This is int. This is a float. Well, it's minutes. I'm just gonna make it int. Okay, save. And we have one more table, and our last table is going to be measurement logs, and this is going to include user ID in kilograms. He's going to put weight in, let's just do pounds, weight in pounds, and the date. So the date is stored. Let's go ahead and put that there. User is our user. This is our int. All right, so at this point we have our schema consisting of 8 tables. Okay, we have 7 tables here plus the other auth users table in the other schema. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is we need an RLS policy. Okay, so RLS is enabled for this table and all the tables, but no policies are set. Select queries may return 0 results, right? So RLS is important because once you enable it, you have to configure it. If you don't configure it, then you won't be able to access this table. So I'm going to go ahead and create a very permissive RLS policy. Okay, so that all access, and later on we're going to lock it down. That's how I like to do things, because that way I can focus on building that, and then later on I can focus on security. Okay, because I don't want to be debugging a bunch of things at the same time. Eliminate the as much variables as possible. Okay, let's go ahead and create one here. Let's do it for all the tables. It's going to be the same one. All true, true. All right, so looks like this is the one that's still needs to be created. Looks like we have it now set up for all of these tables. That means they're going to be accessible. All right, so our Supabase schema is now complete. All right, so now let's go ahead and create our app and link it to our Supabase project. So here I am in my FlutterFlow dashboard. As you can see, I have tons and tons of apps that I have built over the years, and I'm going to go ahead and create a new one. I'm just going to call it Fitness 2 because that's kind of what we're going with. I'm going to start building, and here we are inside of our app, or at least the beginning of our app. So now I want to press Command K or Control K, type Supabase, and I want to turn on Supabase. And now I need to specify the API URL and the anon key. I'm going to go back to Supabase, project settings, and I'm going to go into data API, copy this URL, paste it here, and now I need the anon key. And for that, I need to go to API keys. This is new. They just added kind of this new tab to separate them. I'm going to go ahead and copy this and paste this anon key. Get schema. And now, as you can see, we're looking at all of our tables here. Okay, another thing you want to do is you want to turn on authentication. So if you search for authentication, you want to turn on authentication and you want to specify Supabase. Once you do that, you need to specify an entry page and a logged in page. So the entry page is going to be the home page, but the login page, the logged in page is going to be the home page, but the entry page needs to be a login page, which we don't have. And so I'm going to go ahead and rename this just to home to keep it simpler. I'm going to click here. I'm going to, and instead of creating a brand new page, I'm going to select one of the templates here in this subsection here. And I'm just going to go with this one. And I'm going to call it a login page. I'm going to create the page, and we now have sign in and sign up. And just to keep things simpler, I'm going to delete all that. Okay, and so now we're good. Let's see our errors. Yeah, that is because we don't have it here. Now we can specify it, and I think we are good. Yep, we are good to go. Okay, and now we can actually run our app for the first time just to make sure that everything works. And as you can see, we have no bugs, no warnings, no errors. So it should be fine. I'm going to click here and we're going to run it in a test mode and see how it looks. And here's our app. So hopefully we should be able to log in with that Supabase account. So if I go and do this, hit sign in, and we are shown the main page, the home page, right? Page title, this page right here. And as you can see, everything so far works. Authentication works. We're able to connect to Supabase. Everything is fine. And we are ready to start to build out this app. Now, the next thing that I want to work on is the whole creating the plan flow, because that's one of the more important pieces, I would say, in the app. This creating the plan, showing what the user is working on, etc. Okay, and so we have this home page here. I'm just gonna make it home, and this is gonna be the page that's gonna show what the user is like. It's gonna say, well, today is Wednesday, and you're on your 6-day split or 3-day split. It's not a rest day, or it's a rest day. It's gonna say that. So we're gonna work on that later. Right now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start with the whole create the plan flow. So I'm gonna start with a blank page, and this page is gonna be create plan. Okay, we're gonna do this, and we're gonna say create plan, and let's go ahead and put in the elements. So I already know, like, I already have the wireframe, and so it's gonna be a lot easier to do it since we already have things planned. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add a card, and inside the card I'm gonna add a column, and I'm gonna put my elements. So something like this, row, and we can double this, and this could be another name and value, and then we can double it again, duplicate it again, and this is just going to be so this kind of approach, and we can kind of replicate it on all the other pages just to keep things simple. And by the way, after we're done, we're gonna see if we can make it even more beautiful, even more professional, the layouts. Okay, so this may not be the final one, and let's go ahead and make this button wide, super wide, things something like this. No, let's make it even more. In fact, I'm gonna go ahead and make it 100. And then we're going to control it with the padding. So I'm going to say padding for the button. We're going to do this padding, let's say 10. Okay, that looks nice. You see how it's kind of inset? Really nice. Okay, so let's do this here, and we're gonna do the same. Actually, this should not be text. This should be input. We're gonna replace it with a text field. Let's make a padding 10. This is also 10. I think on the row level is nice. And I'm gonna say that this is plan name, and this is going to be the input. And in fact, we don't need anything. We don't need the hint. We don't need the default text, the label text, none of that. And one thing that I want to do is let's do a border, maybe kind of this lightish. And I also want to do border. Yeah. Okay. So something like this. There's a lot of padding there, so which I don't like. And let's see. Yeah, it's on a row. What I'm going to do is I'm going to remove it here. I'm just going to do it 10, 10, 10. Okay, that's better. So something like this. And this is a nice layout, right? And in fact, what's better is that once you do it, you can duplicate it, right? So I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this, and I'm going to rearrange them. Well, in fact, yeah, this is fine. And now I can say number of days. And then here's the input for the days. Now for the days, what we can do is we can have a list of buttons, right? A row of buttons here. And so what we can do is we can just put a button or an icon. Let's see. Let's try an icon button, something like this. Can we have a number or two? No, well, there's 2 here. There's plus minus 2. That might work. But I just need the number 2. You know, this might work, right? This might work. Let's go ahead and remove the fill color. Let's make the icon color this. So something like this may work. 1, 2, okay, one more. That's 7. And now we can kind of do this. Okay, that looks cool. And so now let's change this to 2. Okay, and do this 3. And let's hope there's enough icons for 7 days. 6, and we have it. And 7. Okay, that looks kind of cool. I really like this. And so now we can have a way where the user can select them, right? So like they click here, and that's what they select. And so once they select it, we're going to change the color. And so for that, we need a page state. I'm going to have a local page state variable. And so I'm just going to say num days. And this is just an integer. And initial is okay. And so now when they click on it, we're going to update page state. We're going to change this as well. Really nice. Okay, so check this out. We're going to come over here. We're going to add an action. I'm going to do state. And we want to do update page state. Go ahead and here. Add page state variables. We have a page state. Oh, I forgot. I had to click save. Num days, confirm. And actually not nullable. Just set it to 0. Okay, and so now come over here, state, update page state, num days. And so now we need to set it to a value. So if they click here, it's 1, and so on and so forth. So I'm going to go in here. Well, actually, we need to do more. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to do that here. I'm going to paste it. This is 2, paste this, and I'm going to do that for the rest of them. So now this is going to set the right one, depending, right? They can't select multiple. Yeah, so in fact, I just realized this could be days of the week, not just number of days. So I'm going to change this. I'm going to say days of the week. And so now they can select the days of the week automatically. Now for the state variables, what we're going to do is we're going to create 7 booleans. That will be initially false, and then when you click on it, it's going to toggle it to true or toggle it to false. And so we're going to say this is a boolean, this is a list, and we're going to say all of them are going to be like this, all false, 1 through 7. And I'm going to say days, week, confirm. And now when the user clicks on it, it's just going to toggle that at that state. And we're going to say update item and index because it's already there. This is 0 because it's the first button. And what we want to do is we want to toggle it, okay? And for that, we're going to come over here. And what we want to do is we want to set it to true or false, depending on what it is, right? So we're going to come here and we're going to create an if-then condition. And so we're going to say that if page state days of the week, item at index, specific index 0. We need to create a condition. I'm going to create a condition. 0 is true. Set it to false, right? Then it's going to be, if it's true, set it to false, otherwise set it to true, okay? And that's going to work for this. Now, what's cool about this is that we can simply copy all of this, copy this action, and do it for the rest of them, right? We're going to delete this action. We're just going to paste this action, except we need to change. Let's go ahead and paste it first. All right, let's go ahead and change it. This is 2 because it starts from 0. Let's go ahead and test these first ones and see if they're being correctly set, and then we'll change the other ones. Let's go ahead and run our app and make sure that we're seeing this page first. All right, so this is our app. As you can see, they're initialized to false. If I click this one, it should be true, and it is true. If I click it again, it's false. Okay, this works perfectly. Let's do the other ones. Just wanted to quickly test. So this one is 3. Click here. This one is 4. Another thing that we want to do is we want to change the color or something about it, right? So if we come over here, you have this fill color. Yeah, we can change fill color. So we can just do an if condition. And here what we can do is we can do page state variable, days of the week, and we can do item bit index. So this is specific index. This is obviously 0. And in fact, we don't even need a condition, right? Because it's Boolean. So before, we don't really need a condition. We can just go straight here. So this is true, right? If it's true, then we want to change the color, maybe something like this. Otherwise, we unset it. We don't change it. Okay, so let's go ahead and see if this works. Okay, let's go ahead and refresh this. And so now you see, you click on it and it goes away. Really nice. And it also sets it here, which is important. So now what we can do is we can just copy it, come over here and fill color, paste this, but we need to change the index. This is now 1. So now we have this nice little functionality that looks cool and is useful. Okay. So now I can click here, click here, click here, and it's going to reflect it. So now it knows that, okay, Monday, Tuesday is false, Monday is true, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday are all true, and these are false. This is nice little flow. Okay, so this works. We have the plan name, and this is going to say create plan, something like this. And now they can press it, and that's going to go ahead and create the plan. And so when it comes to our database, if we take a look here, we have workout plans. We're going to go ahead and create this table, this entry here with the number of days. We're also going to create workout days as well, because we want to separate the numbers so that we know which number, because number of days just tells us the number of days, but we also want to know which day of the week. And here we can say, for instance, 1 is a Monday, 2 is a Tuesday, etc., and then have a label or something like that for the plan ID. So we can essentially create that, because the next step is going to be to add exercises. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to create a flow so that when they create a plan, we're going to go ahead and create the records. Okay. And what do we want to do? So we want to do this workout plans first. Once we get the user ID of the plan, we can go to workout days and create a record for each day. Okay. So let's go ahead and do that. Add an action, Supabase, insert row. We're going to say workout plans. We're going to ignore this. User ID is the auth user. Title is, what the user specified. Text field. Number of days is the number of true, right? So in this page state, we're going to come in here, and what we're going to do is we're going to just filter them by, the condition, right? We're going to say that we're going to do this. We're going to put a condition, single condition, and we're just going to do that. And we're going to say is equal to, and that's going to give us number of items that are true, meaning the number of days. And for this last field source, we're just going to leave it blank. And so this right here is going to create a record in this table here, this workout plans. Once we have the ID, we can create the workout days here, okay, that we need. So we're going to come back here, and we need to make sure that we have an output. So I'm going to say out 1. Next, I'm going to go ahead and create a loop, because we need to create n amount of records, right? The number of days. And so this right here is, we're going to go over a list, and the list is our days week. We're going to go ahead and filter them by where the condition is. Okay, so that's our list. Start index is 0. And here, these are optional, right? If blank, first item, last item, this is going to be the last item. So that's going to go through the list. And now what we need to do is we need to insert rows, right? So this is going to be the workout days. Yes, workout days. We need the plan ID. We have the day number and the label. we'll see about the label. So I'm going to come in here. This is by default. So we have the plan ID. This is going to be action output. I'm going to get this out, or we're going to get the ID. And the day number, this is going to be the current value, current item of loop action 1, this right here. And this is going to be index in list. And you see how it says here index and list. But the problem with us is that we're only filtering for the true day. So the indexes are going to be messed up, right? And so now that I see this here, a much better approach would be to not filter, right? So if we go back to this list, we don't want to filter. We just want to get all the items, right? So what we want to do is no further changes. And then what we want to do is we want to see if that item is true. And that way we get the right indexes, okay? So I'm going to add a conditional, and I'm going to move it up. And I'm going to say, well, if that item is true, I'm going to just do a single condition, current item. We don't need the index and list. We're going to say is, then go ahead and do it. And that way we have the right index that we can use. Okay. So now I'm going to go ahead and here, cut. I'm going to go ahead and paste it. Otherwise, we don't need to do anything because it's false. That day is not marked. And so now what we have the day number. We have the plan ID like before. We have the day number. And now we can simply do index and list because now we're going through all the items and the index works, okay? And label, we can, I don't know, we can put something like, we can do combine and we can do day and we can do index and list +1. Current item, in fact, what we can do is inline function. This is going to be an integer. This is this current index, and we can do +1. So that, Monday is 1 instead of 0, something like this. It needs to return. I think that's false. Yeah. So now it's going to say day 1, day 2, day 3 for the label. So now let's go ahead and run our app and see if it actually saves it correctly. All right. So let's say the plan is 3-day split, and I'm going to say Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, just to keep it simple. And I'm going to say create plan. All right. Let's see what we have. Let's go ahead and refresh it. There it is. Workout days. It has the plan ID, day 1. Yeah, it's perfect. And we should have a record here. Perfect. And I can do it again. Let's say I want to create a 6-day split, right? With 1 rest day. We can put maybe this, and then Sunday is a rest day. Okay, create a plan. Now we should have another one here. Okay, 6-day split. We're going to go into workout days, refresh this, and there we have a day, and this is 0 through 5, and this is 1, 2. So it's perfect. It works exactly as expected. All right, the next thing that we need to build is the next step of this flow or this wizard. So the idea is the user is going to click and select the days of the week, resulting in X amount of days. And depending how many days they select here, we're going to create a couple of additional steps where they have to input their exercises for the day. Okay, so first let's go ahead and create this page here, and let's do a blank page. And so this is going to be called add exercises, and this is going to be called add exercises. And so instead of creating a brand new page, let's go ahead and duplicate this page because I kind of like this UI and I want to keep it, at least for now. Maybe we'll change the UI later, but for now I like it. So this is going to be called add exercises today, and same thing here. So here we're going to display the day. Okay, so this is day 1, day 2, day 3, etc., etc. And so let's go ahead and make it a bit bigger, something like this. And we're going to say something like this, day 1, let's say, and make it, let's say, a little bolder maybe. For that specific day, we're going to ask them to select a body part. Okay, so this is going to be a pull down. Let's see if we can replace it. Yep, really nice. We can simply replace it like this. And I'm going to go ahead and make it, I want to make it all the way, right? The width should be 100. And yeah, it's expanding all the way. Let's make it 80, make it 90, something like this. Okay, so something like this. So we have this row. In fact, a better way to do it would be to expand it. And then you can make it 100 if you want, and so this right here is going to select the body parts. We're not storing any body parts right now, so we can hard code it or we can store them later. Okay, so right now I'm just going to do something like biceps, something like this for now. Next, we're going to have an input for the exercises, right? And here you'll be able to search for exercises as well. And we can do all of that using autocomplete. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and delete this intricate UI element that we have created. And in fact, I can just duplicate this right here. And this right here is going to say search exercises. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to have an icon and search. And I want this icon. Yeah, this is fine. And this is going to pull the exercises from one of the tables. So we have this exercises table here. There's nothing there. So we need to add some data. But the idea is it's going to pull it from there. So let's go ahead first and create just some exercises. So let's go ahead and use AI Assistant to do that. 10 exercises, 10 sample exercises to the exercise table. Generate SQL to execute. Let's see what happens. Okay, and there you have it. So we're going to go ahead and run this query, and now we can refresh it, and we have all of this, and this looks really good, right? So we have the muscle group, chest, legs, right? So it's repeating the muscle groups, and it's also repeating the equipment. We have the description, we have the video URL, we have the difficulty is custom is false, which is correct. Now, looking at it more closely, I think for the description, I don't want it to be like a standard deadlift. What I do want it to have is just the name of the exercise. So like push-ups, bench press, etc. And so let's go ahead and add another field. Instead of regenerating this, let's go ahead and add another field. I'm just going to say name. This is text. And then we can generate the names for the exercises. So I'm going to go ahead and drag it all the way here. And I am going to go back to our AI assistant and say, modify the field name, add the values for the column name based on the exercise. Keep it short and sweet. So for instance, we can say push-ups, bench press, barbell, bench press, or dumbbell incline, dumbbell bench press, something like this. All right. And let's go ahead and see what it does. And it should alter this table. We don't want to create new records. And see, it says insert, right? So it's adding new records. All right. Let's go ahead and run it. We can always delete the old records. List value list must be the same length. Okay. So we are getting an error. Let's go ahead and see if it fixes it. Yeah. So it forgot to add the name, because we've just added it. Let's go ahead and run it. Should work. There it is. Let's go ahead and refresh it. Okay, so it went ahead and added it, and that's fine. We can delete the old ones. Another way to do it. Okay, let's go ahead and delete this. All right, so now it looks good, right? So we have the name, we have the description in case we want to display it somewhere. And so now we want to go back to our app and we want to refresh the schema. Anytime you add a field, remove a field, add a table, remove a table, you want to refresh the schema. So we refresh the schema, and now what we can do is we can go back to the UI and we can have this search get the data. And for that, you want to feed it with data first. Supabase query, exercises, list of rows, just get all of them. We can order them alphabetically by name. Yep, there it is. Okay, and here you can display the data. So instead of just hard coding, we can do this. Define options, exercises, and I want to do map, item in list. I want to get name, and that's it. So that's going to be a sorted name right here. Now for the values, you want to make sure that you select integers, right? Because we're going to be passing IDs. So we're going to come over here, map, get this ID. That's it. And so now we have the names and we have the IDs in case we need something, some more information about it. Okay, so this also needs to be autocomplete. Auto select dropdown is searchable. Okay, so this should do it. You'll be able to find exercises, okay? Now, this here is going to be a wizard, right? So when the user is going to be redirected here, they're going to add the exercises for each day that was selected previously. And so this right here will depend on, if it's the next day or the previous day. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to say next day here. And this button is going to change to maybe submit or next day, depending on if they completed all the days. Okay. And so before we can figure all of that out, we need to know which day are we on right now. I'm going to add this and I'm going to say current day. And now I can track which day are we talking about, which day is the user adding it. Okay. So this is going to be an integer and it's not going to be nullable. It's going to be 0 by default, but it's going to be configured automatically. Now, when it comes to getting this wizard to work, we need to know how many days there are in that specific plan. So right here, we need to know how many days. And yes, we can pass the days here, but the best way is to pass the plan ID And that way we can simply look up the days here, right? So we have workout days, and with the plan ID, we can easily get these days, right? So it's very, very nice. And another thing that's nice is being able to know which day we're on, right? So initially we're going to be on the first day here. Okay. And it's not always going to be 0, right? And in these two cases, it starts with a Monday, but it doesn't need to be 0. It could be another day. Okay. So ideally, what we want to do is when the user presses this button here, we want to redirect them here and pass the plan ID along with the first day. Okay. And then after that, we can take over because we can simply look up and see what's happening. And so on this add exercises, what we want to do is we want to track the plan ID, right? Because for instance, this is plan ID 1, this is plan ID 2. So once we have the plan ID, we can easily get the days, okay? So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to add a page parameter. I'm just going to say plan ID, and I'm going to say this is an integer and this is required. And another thing that's nice is the first day, right? So that way we know where, where it is, right? Like what do we initialize it to? So I'm just going to say, so here I'm going to say initial day. This is the first day here. And this is also going to be an integer. It's also going to be required. Okay. And so that way, once this takes over, it's going to know the plan ID. It's also going to know the initial day. Okay. And over here, what we can do is we can immediately look up, right? So at this top level, we can have a query that gets all the stuff like the Supabase. We're going to get worked out days right here. This is this table here, workout days. And we can simply query by the plan ID and we'll get all the days here. So I'm going to do this. We're going to have a filter, plan ID, and I'm going to say equal to whatever we're passing, plan ID here. And we also want to order them by the day number in increasing order, which is going to make things simpler. And we also need a state variable, a page state variable, to keep track on which day we're on, right? Because it's all going to be on the same page. And what we need to do is we need to create a page state variable called current day, but not just current day. We can do current date index because we have the days already, right? We have the plan ID. That's going to give us all the days. So I'm just going to do current day index. By default, it's 0, which means it's going to be automatically the first day. But as the user continues to go back and forth, we are going to update the day, okay? And in fact, we don't really need initial day, okay? It's not really that important because we're going to start at index 0. And here we're going to get all the days, but because we have the current day index set to 0, by default, it's going to be the first day. And that's really going to be easy. So take a look at this. So here we can simply click here. We can get all the workout days rows and we can get the index, right? So the index is going to be the current day index. Okay, something like this. And now we can get the field. So for instance, here we want day number or label. Yeah, I think label is good. I'm just going to say label here, and that's going to display it here. Okay, and then they can select whatever they need to do. And this button is going to change depending on where we are, right? So when they click on next day, we are going to update at the index. But before we update the index, we need to check if we are on the last day or not. So I'm going to open this up, and what we can do is, well, we need to delete all this. And so here we're going to create a condition, and we're going to say, we're going to first check where's current date at, right? So and I'm going to say current day index. And what we want to do is we want to see if it's greater than available days that we have. Current day is greater than workout days number of items. Okay, because if it's greater than or equal to, in fact, greater than or equal to, right, it always needs to be less, right, because it starts from 0. It also always needs to be less. So if it's greater than or equal to, we're at the end, right? We're at the end. So if this is true, that's it. We're done, right? In fact, I think a better way would be to do it less than, and this is going to be number of items. So if it's less than, yeah, we can update our current day index. We can say page, and we can do this. And we can increment, okay? Otherwise, that's it. There's nothing that we need to do. Well, yeah, we can navigate to some other page, right? So the idea is we can just navigate maybe to home page or say like, congratulations, your thing has been done, right? So for now, I'm just going to do something very simple. I'm just going to do a snack bar, and I'm going to say this is our workout plan or split, and we can say a split has been something like this. Okay, because we've done all the days that we need to do. Now, this text here also needs to change depending on what's happening. So I'm going to go ahead and copy all of these here, and I'm going to go ahead and here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the text, and I'm going to go into my we're going to do if conditional. I'm going to come here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a condition. Okay, so here I'm going to say if the is less than or equal to number of items, then next day, then everything is fine. Okay, because it's less. Right? What do we have? No, it needs to be less than. Okay, so while it's less than, it's okay. We can continue. Otherwise, if it's equal to, greater than or equals to, we're gonna say done. Okay, something like this. Now, that's pretty much it. So as they're gonna press the button, it's gonna increase the index, and it will automatically check against the number of available days that were created in the previous in this create plan. Okay, so now let's go ahead and check what issues we have. Yeah, so it's passing in. We don't need that. Well, actually, what we do need is we need the plan ID. Okay, so we just need the plan ID over here. We need the plan ID. Action output out, and we need the ID. Okay, and let's see this one here. Search exercises is a drop down. Okay, now we have initially selected value does not match the specified value. Let's see. ID initially selected value. Why do we need? Okay, let me go ahead and select this first ID. Let's see if that works. All right, so now I can put this here and something similar here. Okay, all right, now let's go ahead and try this out, see if this whole flow works. All right, so here we are. So let's try, we do a 3-day split, and I select 1, 2, 3, create the plan. Okay, so now you see how it says day 1. Okay, so it knows the day. And so now if we go back here and we refresh this, it automatically created the split, and it knows that day 1, day 2, day 3. And so this is going to automatically display it, right? It's not saving anything yet. We're going to do that later, right? So here we can search, right? Barbell, really nice. This is actually really cool. It's searchable. So chest, machine, chest, fly, next day, and says day 2, next day, day 3, and then done. Okay, and so actually it should display it before next day. Try another plan. Let's say 4-day split. 2, 3, 4. We create the plan that goes ahead and does everything. And so here you can see exactly what's happening. So this is day 1. Current day index is 0. If I go to next, this is going to be 1, 2, which is correct. And this is the last day over here. So as you can see, this is now 3. Okay, and that means its index is 3, but we have 4 days. And so what we need to do when we are comparing, we need to add 1 to this index, or remove or subtract 1 from this to compare it correctly. Okay, that's exactly what I'm going to do. So if I go to the button here, I can go over here, and what I can do is I can either add 1 here or remove 1 here. Okay, now I can't really do it here. There's no inline option. But if I go over here, there's an inline function option. So I'm going to get the number of elements. We're going to get it here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to subtract 1. And that way they're going to be equal. It's not going to be less than 1 anymore. And that's going to short circuit the flow here. Okay. So that's going to do that. And we're returning an integer, num elements, num. We're going to copy that. And then I'm going to copy this here. And I want to do the same thing on the main flow. Okay, so if we go over here, we're going to do that here as well, so that the user can't keep pressing the button. I'm going to click this, we're going to paste that, and let's see, num elements, number of items. All right, so now if you run it, it's going to do the check, and it's going to have the correct logic. Okay, so I select 1, 2, 3, 3-day split. Okay, so now you can see current day is 0, but the plan ID has 3 days. This is the plan ID, has 3 days. This is day 2, and now it says done. And so if you click on it, nothing should happen. It's not going to increase anything, right? It's just going to display this split has been created. And so that's how you create a wizard that allows you to add these items. And of course, we need to add the logic to Supabase, but that's relatively easy. Now, the next thing that I want to work on is this adding exercise flow. So remember, we have this wizard here, right, where you can name your plan. So let's say plan 4. and we select 4 days. We do create plan. That goes here, and now we need to do it for each day. Okay, and so the idea is we're going to select the body part here, and we're going to select the exercise. Now, when you select the exercises, we want it to appear. We want something to list there, right? And you'll be able to delete the exercise, and also you'll be able to configure the exercise, meaning that sets, reps, weight, etc., etc. Okay, because if we go to our table here, you can see that we have this worked out day exercises, and we have sets, reps, weight, rest seconds, order, right? So that we can order them in a specific way, okay? And so let's go ahead and see what we can do to make this happen. Now, there's a couple of ways of doing it. You can save it to app space or page space, to app state or page state or any of that. But in my view, the easiest way is just to save it to the database directly. And so when we click here, when the user selects something, we have a callback, right? So if we go over here, unselected, add an action, right? We can actually display. So let's say I want to display the snack bar, and I can click here. Well, if I go into my widget state, I have my widget. So the second one is that exercise, specific exercise, right? So if I click here, I come over here, it should display the value of the selected. Remember, we have the values as the IDs in exercises, right? We are listing IDs and we have the name, okay? And so the ID is what we're going to be capturing, which is absolutely perfect because that's what we need. Okay, so let me show you how this works. Let's say I refresh this. Okay, so now I select, let's say 1 and 2, and I say plan 2, and I say create plan. That redirects me. And now let's say I select this. Well, I'm going to get the ID. So plank is ID 16, right here, ID 16. If I go over here and I select barbell deadlift, ID 12, barbell deadlift. Okay, so we're capturing what we need, what the user has selected, which is perfect. And so now what we can do is we can go back here, and when they click on it, we want to create a record here in this workday exercises, because we have the workday ID, we have the exercise ID, and then sets, reps, and weights. The user can fill out later, okay? And so, you know, if I go over here and instead of the snack bar, I want to create an action, unselected, I'm going to do an insert row, and the table is workout day exercises. And now we can have all the fields except the first two, because these are going to be default. All right, so workout day ID, do we have that? This is, plan ID, I believe. Yeah, plan ID. Exercise ID was what the user selected, which is going to be this widget state. This one right here, it's an ID. And then sets, that is something the user can set up later. So for now, I'm just going to put something else, something random. Let's say 5 sets, 10 reps, weight, whatever, 150 pounds, okay? And rest seconds, 90 rest seconds, okay? So this is going to save it, and now we need to display it, and we're going to be displaying it right underneath this. So what I can do is I can go here, I can create a list view, okay? And I can simply display the items, right? I'm just going to create a card, and I'm going to do a row. And here I can display the stuff, right? So let's say we do a column, and let's say, I don't know, we do this, something like this. This is going to be a text. This is the exercise name. Just going to... we're going to do that. We need to go to this list view and we need to get stuff. So if there's no exercises, right, the user is doing it for the first time, it's just going to be empty, right? So I can add this query, Supabase query. I'm going to do workout day exercises list, and I need a filter. So I need workout day ID, which is equal to our plan ID. And actually, I don't think it's plan ID. I think I'm mistaken. I think it's actually workout day ID. Let me double check. Workout days. This is the ID and this is the plan ID. We need the ID. Okay. We don't need the plan ID. So, because plan ID is for something else. So let's go back here. Let's fix this up. All right. So now let's go ahead and tighten up this whole flow here. Okay. So this thing works. And if the user clicks on create plan, this is what they see. Now there's a couple of issues here. This part is correct because we need to create the workout plans record. And this part is correct, the first half, because we need to create the workout days. But the issue here is we have this navigate. It's in the loop. It should not be in the loop. Okay. It should be at the end, right? It should be outside the loop. So I'm going to say cut. I'm going to come over here and paste. Okay. So now it does all the creations and then it redirects to the wizard where they're going to add exercises to each of the days that we've just created previously. Okay. Now, this navigation here, we need the plan ID, right? And we are getting it. Let me go ahead and label them, right? So this thing gives us the plan ID, workout plans. I'm just going to say workout plan record or just rec. And this thing gives us the workout days, right? That we're creating. So like 3-day split, 4-day split, we create records. So this is workout days rec. Right now, we need to redirect to the wizard essentially, and in this wizard, we're gonna go, step by step through each of the days, right? And so here we need the plan ID. So let's double check. We're getting workout plan rec. We're getting the ID, which is from this thing here. Now, this workout day ID, we don't really need it, right? And here we're passing the last one because we're looping, and then we're getting the last one and we're passing it. So that doesn't make any sense. And so here we don't really need to do it because when we pass the user to the add exercise, we always start from the first day, right? It's always going to be the first day. And so this thing, we don't really need this workout day ID. So I'm going to go ahead and remove it because it's not important. Okay. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to remove it here. A bunch of things are going to break and we're going to fix it along the way. And the reason we don't really need it is because if you look at this page, we have a current day index that gets initialized at 0. So when this page loads, we start at 0. Okay, and then we go along the way. So initially it knows which day to look at. And so potentially we can go over here. And so let's say we have these workout days for a particular plan. Let's say, this plan right here. We see that there are 3 days in this plan. So we can simply, start at the first record and get the idea of this. Okay. Just knowing this current day index is enough to get us the right day so that we can add exercises for that specific day. Okay. Now we have a bunch of errors, right? So yeah, we're passing it. We're no longer going to be passing it. That's the first thing. What else do we have? What is this? Yeah, so this is the selection for the exercises, right? So here we are missing this workout day ID now. And that is fine because we can get it. Here we have workout days. And so all we need to do is get item at index, specific index, and then we just need to put current day. And then we can get the exact day, current day, and then we need the ID of that record. And that's it. Okay, that's fixed. Let's go ahead and we should have, I think, one more error. And on the list view, our filters are invalid, right? So here's the same thing. We are displaying the exercises for that workout day ID. We can come over here and we can just get this item at index, specific index, and we can get the current day index because that's going to be what's going to be tracking on which day of the plan we are at, and we're going to do ID. Okay. And now we should have no errors. Okay. Before we run it, I'll just go ahead and delete these records that we have from testing. So workout plans as well, delete all our plans, and we don't have any exercises. We don't have anything. Okay. So now let's go ahead and see what happens here. All right. So this page loads. Let's go ahead, try the flow. So I'm just going to call it 3-day plan. And the idea is now it's going to go ahead and create one record for the plan and then 3 records for the days, because for each day we also need the exercises, right? We have this kind of 3-table structure, this one-to-many kind of relationship. So we're going to do this. And when we load this, nothing happens here. And if we go into help and we type inspect elements and you go into console, you see that you have a bunch of errors here. So if you scroll down, you can see perform layouts. So it's telling us render flex, children have non-zero flex, but incoming height constraints are unbounded. Okay, so that is a problem because what's happening, what it's telling us is that we have these elements with they're fully expanded, but they can only expand until a certain limit. And unfortunately, we don't have that limit. So they can expand potentially as much as they want. And so the issue here is probably going to be this list view. I like to start with my list views. You see how the expansion is set here? And so we can do this. That is one thing that we can do. But I'm going to keep it an expansion and I'm going to work my way up. And so if we go into column and we go into card, you can see that card does not have expansion. So what we want to do is we want to expand the card. And so now once we expand the card, we are giving it essentially constraints. okay, because it's going to be able to expand as far as like, this whole page. And so now we can go to the list view and we can keep this and we can remove the shrink wrap, because shrink wrap it hurts performance. And if you have this expansion, you don't need shrink wrap, right? Because it knows how much space it needs to draw and render. And so now we can go back here and we can reload our session, and now it should hopefully work. All right, so here's our planning. I'm just gonna do 4-day, 1, 2, 3, 4, create plan, and there we have it. Okay, so now it's displayed correctly. So the issue was, if you have these things, always remember how FlutterFlow constraints work. And if you are not exactly sure, go watch one of the videos that you're gonna be seeing in the right corner of your screen. I'm gonna set up a card there. Okay, so now we have our wizard, okay? And when we are working with wizards, it helps to look at our debug panel to see what's happening, okay? So now you can see plan ID is 21, which is correct. If we go to our workout plans, we have this latest plan ID. This is this 4-day number of days. So the ID is correct. And the current day index is also 0, which is correct. This is the first page. And that's it. That's all we see right now. And so now what we can do is, well, nothing is happening here right now. We can select, we can type, nothing is happening, right? We will be able to kind of work with this a little bit later. Something is appearing. I mean, things are appearing, but it's nothing that we can select and add or anything like that, okay? Because we do have kind of a data source there, and we'll get to it in a second. But right now, I want to show you how this wizard works, right? So I'm going to click on next day. And now day 2, and see current day index is 1, and it's not showing the workout day here, but it should be switching, right? Because initially we started with this record, day number 0. It should be this day, and then this day, and then this day. So on each page, it will know which record we're dealing with, because we need to get this ID. So it's going to know that, day 1 is 66, day 2 is 67, 68, so on and so forth, okay? And so now I can go next, and now we're done. We can't do anything because we're on the last day, okay? I mean, split has been created, right? So it's going to save it, it's going to act upon it, but it's going to change the button because it knows that there's no more days. And so now if we go over here, we can go into workout days exercises, and we have an exercise that was created, okay? This is for that workout day ID because we selected that exercise. So we have some logic working, right? We are displaying the ID, we're displaying the sets and the reps. So we do have some logic. And so the skeleton of this flow, it works, right? We just need to kind of finesse it a little bit. We need to, make sure that it works correctly. And so if we go back here, when you select an exercise, we automatically add it to workout day exercises. And so we need this workout day ID, and this is what I just changed just previously because we got that error, right? So we are saving them correctly. It's just we're not displaying like what we need to display. We're just displaying the ID, sets, and reps. So if we go over here, we can take a look. This is what we have. So we have this exercise ID. And so if we click on that exercise ID, we can actually display the name of the exercise, right? So like shoulders, or this is muscle group. We have, let's see, we have the name. So we can actually display the name here, okay? But we have a very, very simple kind of query, right? We have a very, very simple query. So if we go over here, we're just querying the workout day exercises, and we're not joining with another table. We're not joining with the exercise ID. We're not even displaying the exercise ID. And so one thing that you can do is that you can create a join for this specific view here, create a view for this specific screen here. That is one thing that you can do. But another thing that you can do is you can use GraphQL to do it, right? So if you go over here and you go to integrations, we have this GraphQL integration here. If you don't have it, you may need to enable it, but I believe it's automatically enabled by default, okay? So if we click over here and you click on this tab, GraphQL here, you can work with your data. Okay, you can work with your data to do exactly what you want. So I'm going to go ahead and create another tab here so I can work kind of with my data. And I'm just going to copy this because it's kind of similar structure. And now I can type my table. So let's say I'm trying to query What do I want to query? I want to query this workout day exercise, and then I want to query the name of the exercise. So we're gonna start from workout day exercises here. I'm gonna go in here, and I'm gonna go workout day exercises collection, and I can filter and all that. And let's say I want to filter by, what do I want to filter? I want to filter by workout day ID, because that's what I want to do. So I'm gonna do workout day ID, and I'm gonna put 66. Which is kind of what we're doing over there. Now, I want to display what I need to display. So what do I want to display? Well, probably don't want to display the ID. I probably want to display, well, let me go ahead and display all of this here. ID, sets, and reps, just to test if it works. So I'm going to say ID, sets, reps, okay? And now I'm going to go ahead and remove all this, making sure that I have my braces balanced, and I'm going to go ahead and run this. And now I have 3, 10, and 5, which is exactly what you saw being displayed on that first page. So this works. And so now what we want to do is we want to get the name, because I want to display the name, right? If you're not using GraphQL, you'll need to create a view, but GraphQL just makes it easier. And so here, let's say I want to display stuff from the other table, right? So I have my workout day collection. I also have the exercise ID, but if I can simply display the exercise ID, but I can't display the data in the other table. And so what I need to do is I need to create a certain reference to that other table so that I can pull it up here. And we can do that by using our AI assistant. So I'm going to say, I want to reference the exercise table, and the table is called exercises, right? Very simple. And let's see if it works. And this is what it came up with. So it wants me to create an exercise foreign key reference, right? What we have here. And then it does two things. It adds a foreign key constraint, and it creates an index column to optimize joins. Okay, for GraphQL query, this reference will allow you to easily join, ensure data integrity. Okay, and so I'm going to go ahead and run this right here. And so now we can go back over here. We can go back to integrations, click here, go over here, and we should hopefully be able to get what we need to get. And now we have exercises over here. You see how we have this thing here? And I can select exercises, and here now I can reference the table directly. So if I go back here, I'm going to go ahead to our exercises table. And what do I want to display? Just name. So I'm going to go back over here, and I'm going to say name. Okay? And so now if I run it, guess what? Now I have the dumbbell overhead press. How cool is that? I think this is really, really nice. Right? All I needed to do was to create a reference, as you see over here, right? It altered our table. It added a constant foreign key references back to public exercises. This is the key over here. And then it created an index, right? For performance reasons. Okay. But this right here is the key. We need this reference to this table. Okay, so this constraint, this foreign key, this thing right here. And this allows us to get all the fields that we need. Very, very easy. We don't need to create a view or anything like that. And so now with that set up, we can even ask it, show me the endpoint for GraphQL for this project. And there we have it. So it gives us the endpoint. We're going to go ahead and copy this, go back into our app, create this API endpoint here. API call, I'm just going to say GraphQL. And we're going to go ahead and paste it here. Project reference, we're going to go over here. Project settings, this is our reference. Come back over here. And we have this call. We're going to do add call. And I don't remember if it's body or get. Let me go ahead and double check if it told us. Can you show me a sample curl request to GraphQL? Okay, and it's showing us a sample get request. So this is going to be this curl. And we have the data over here. So this is going to be a post request. And I can basically copy all this and go back over here and do post body. I'm going to save that. This is going to be JSON. And this is our query. Let's go ahead and format it, save it. And we also need the headers. And the headers are going to be this API key, content type, all of that. Let's go ahead and do it one by one. API keys over here, and you want to get this a non-public, paste that in there. Next, you want to get the other key, the other header, authorization bearer, and same key. And content type is a good idea. I think it's application JSON, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. And so now we can execute this request and get data back. Let's see what it's telling us. And it's telling us this is the exercises collection. So in our case, we need to go back and we need to see what was the request we were working with. So come back over here, GraphQL, and this is kind of what we have. And another thing you want to make sure is that you place it on one line. Okay, so if you don't want to do that manually, you can just ask AI to do it. Convert the following into a one-liner. One line. Okay, there we have it. So we can just copy that, go back here, and you want to change this. Query, yeah, something like this. There's an error. Yeah. So you want to escape it. And this is going to be a filter. This is going to be a variable, excuse me, anyway. You want to save it, and now you can test it out. And there it is, right? There's our one exercise that we added for that day in that plan. Okay, this was what was added, and we see the value here. So you can automatically, you can save it as a custom data type if you want, but if you want to be very simple, you can just get the values. And so what do I want? I want name of the exercise, reps and sets. So I want the name of the exercise, or maybe I want the names of the exercises, right? So here it's giving us exercises as one, but we might have multiple. And so what we want is we want basically the name of the exercise, the reps, and the sets. Okay, so I'm gonna get the name. I'm gonna get I don't care about the ID. I want reps and sets. I'm gonna go ahead and say name, reps, or the other way around. Yeah, reps. So if you click that, you can kind of so what does that say? Yeah, reps. Okay, reps. So reps and sets. So I got it right. Go ahead and save that. And now you'll be able to reference this. And so if you test that again, you see how it fills it in automatically. Okay, so we have that. And now what we can do is we can go back and we can actually execute this API call. So here we're doing the filtering, but we're also doing the watering. The watering is nice, but it's not required. The filtering is important, but the watering is optional. So I'm going to click here. I'm going to do a API call, GraphQL, and we don't have a variable yet, but that's fine. We'll do it. It's hard-coded right now. And now what we want to do is we want to capture the list, right? So we're going to get this GraphQL response, and we want to make sure we're capturing the list. So if I go back to, let's go ahead and go back over here, and I want to make sure that we're doing it correctly. Now here, what we want to do is we want to capture edges, right? And so where is our edges? Right here, we have edges. So I can just do that. We can save that over here and go back to our app, predefined path, and we have edges. And now we can actually get what we need to get. So what do we need to get? We want to get the name, reps, and sets. Okay, so if we go back over here, we can click here. We have this record. And so here, the simplest thing would be to do a JSON path. So I can do node, and I can just get what we need to get, node exercises.name. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and copy that. And then here, it's going to be slightly different, a record, JSON path, and this is going to be node, what is this? Sets, I think, and this is node reps. Okay, there we have. All right, so now let's go ahead and see if this works. Okay, let's go ahead and restart our session. All right, here we are, and let's say we create another plan. So plan 3 created, that goes ahead and does everything. Now here it's displaying this because remember we have that value hard-coded. It's back to that other plan. Okay, so it is working. It's just displaying the exercise from the other plan, from plan 66, and this is going to be like 70 or something. And so just to double check, it is working. But if we start adding stuff, it's going to add to the other plan. And so what we need to do is we need to go back here and we need to create a variable. And this is going to be the, I think it's, let's double check what it's called, workout day ID. Okay, workout day ID, and this is going to be a integer. Come back over here, and I'm going to go ahead and put it over there. Okay, save it, and now we can say 66. And now if we go back, we need to pass the parameter here. So I'm going to say workout day ID. And what is the workout day ID? Well, that is what we talked about, right? So we're going to do item at index, specific index. We're going to do current day, and that's going to figure it out. Okay, so we have this ID over here, and that's what we're going to be passing. We need to pass the ID. Okay, if we go over here, now it's still, let's see if it works. Still complaining about something. GraphQL response. Let me go ahead and see that. Predefined path. Okay, so now, yeah, there's a problem. Name sets reps. Predefined path. What does it want? List. Double check that. List of anything. I think there's a, let me double check. Save this. If we execute that, okay. Let me do 66. Okay, that works. Everything is fine. Everything looks good. We gotta double check this. Let's do JSON path nodes. Confirm, and we'll say record. Record, yep. Should be fine. Let me go ahead and delete everything so we don't have any stale data.
Hey, so hey, so I really hope you're enjoying this tutorial and perhaps learning something new, picking up a new skill, or are just interested in building apps such as this one, maybe enhancing this app, or maybe building a completely different app in a completely different niche. Regardless of what you're trying to do, you definitely need to check out Mastering FlutterFlow. Mastering FlutterFlow is the absolute best way to learn how to build apps with FlutterFlow, because when you join Mastering FlutterFlow, you're going to gain access to a ton of video, step-by-step modules that teach you everything that you need to know and nothing that you do not need to know. Okay. In addition to that, you have access to our community on the forum. Plus, you're going to gain access to our private Discord community where you can ask questions pretty much about anything having to do with the course, not having to do with the course, having to do with the apps that you're building, anything FlutterFlow, no code. We have lots of people there. It's a great community. I'm always there. I'm always trying to help out. So definitely check out Mastering FlutterFlow if you're serious about building apps with no code.
All right, so here's the app. Let's do a 3-day plan, a 4-day plan. Create plan over here. Now, when we run this, we are getting an error. And the reason we're getting an error is because we're not properly referencing what we need to do. So we need to get data. We need to get this, and then we need to get edges. Okay, so data is easy to remember. This thing, not so much. So I'm going to go back over here, and we're going to try that. So it's data, this, and then edges. Okay, that will give us a list, because if we try anything else and it's not a list, it's going to complain. Okay, let's go ahead and try that. Go ahead and rebuild our app. Okay, 4-day split. And now, as you can see, there's no error, but there's nothing there because it's empty, right? It gets the array, but it's an empty array, so it has nothing to cycle through. But if we, let's say, select chest and we select something here, let's say this one, it automatically adds it. So if I add something else, it automatically adds it. I select triceps. Obviously, we need to change how this works as well, but you get the idea, right? We need to format it a little bit. We're going to do that. But if I go to the next day, it's empty, right? Because we haven't added anything. And so here I can say, well, this is biceps, and I can even search resistance band, and it adds it right there. Okay, and if I go to the next day, and if I want to do squats, yes, I want to do barbell squats, and I want to do some other squats, body weight squats. There we go. This is for, what else do we want to do? We did legs. Let's say barbell bench press. Okay, there we go. And say done, split has been created. And so now if we go to our database, we can follow this whole thing. So everything starts with a plan. This is the last one. Plan ID is 26. We're going to go into workout days. Look at plan ID 26. We have 4 days created. So these are the IDs. And these are the days, meaning that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So it's not like Monday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday or something. It's sequentially starting from 0, which is Monday. And now these are the IDs, 83, 84, 85, 86. And so if you go to the exercises and you look up the workout day ID, you can see the exercise ID. Now, it seems that only one exercise is created per day. I believe it should be creating all of them. But right now, it's just one of them. So here you can see what's the exercise: arms, bicep curls. Let's see what else was created: barbell squat, and another legs. Simple. What is this? Name body weight squats, and we have dumbbell bench press. So if we go to the workout day exercises, you see there's like 4 exercises created for 83. 2 exercises for 81, 85, which is the workout day ID, one exercise for these two. And so if you take a look at these ones, there's a bunch of exercises here. Machine chest fly, a bunch of exercises, okay? And so it seems to be working as expected. We still need to kind of play around with it. We still need to test it more. But right now, the flow seems to be working as expected. Now, one thing that I want to change about this app is that I don't want to automatically add stuff, right? So if we come over here and we select something, it automatically adds it. I don't want it to automatically add. I want it to show first, and I want to give us an option to add or to remove. Because if you're going to be adding it here, we still need to configure it. There's still a couple of other things that we need to do, such as setting repetition, sets, stuff like that. So I don't want it to automatically add. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here, and the first thing that I want to do is I want to make sure that it is maybe left aligned, something like that. Let me do a little bit of padding on the card, something like that. Maybe we'll see. I want to keep it temporarily. And so if they click on add or they click on remove, initially I want to keep it temporarily. So if they click on add, we're going to add it. If they click on remove, we're just going to remove it from temporary state. And so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go and create a page state variable. And this page state variable is only going to be active on this page, right? As they're adding it day to day. And so let's go ahead and create it. So I'm going to say exercises. Now here we can add a Supabase row, but it's not going to be a Supabase row because remember, we're pulling in stuff from GraphQL. We have the name, we have the set. So this is not really a Supabase row. And so the best thing to do would be to add a custom data type. And this is going to be very simple. It's just names, sets, and reps, okay? And the exercise ID as well. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to say exercise type, okay? Yeah, exercise type, and we're going to add the field. So it's just name. We're going to say sets, which is an integer, and I'm going to duplicate this and I'm going to call this. And that's pretty much it. So initially we're going to add it here. We're going to display it to the user. And then if they want to configure it, great. If they don't, they can simply delete it. And so now that we've created the data type, we can go ahead and create a page state variable. Okay, I'm just going to say exercises, and this is going to be data type, exercise type, and it's a list. Now, the next thing that we want to do is we want to change the logic here, right? So right now, when we select it, it inserts the row. So what we want to do is we want to add it to our temporary page state variable. So we're going to open this up. We're going to go over here and we're going to say page, update page state, click here, exercises, and we're going to go ahead and add to list. And we're going to create this exercise type. So the name is whatever the widget state. Yeah, drop down 1, I think, and the ID is drop down 2. Well, we don't need the ID right now. Although that may be important. So we don't have sets. Sets is going to be, I'm just going to put something for now. Let's say 5 and 10, but the user will be able to modify it. And so that's going to go ahead and add it, right? And we also need an ID because eventually, once it makes its way back here, we need the exercise ID. So I'm going to go back here. We're going to go to our data type, and I'm going to say exercise ID. And this is an integer. And let's put it first, since I like my IDs to be first. And now we come back over here, update page state, click here. Let's go ahead and add an ID. And exercise ID is going to be this widget state, this one. That should be the ID. Okay. And so this one, we don't really need to. I can just disable it in case we need to come back and see something here. I'm going to just disable it. But the idea is we're going to do this and we're going to rebuild the page. Now, this list view here is no longer going to be a GraphQL call. This is going to be page state now. So I'm going to come in here and now I'm just going to use our page state exercises and I'm going to say record, exercise record, save that. And then this, we're going to go over here, data structure, name. All right. So this is going to be basically temporary state, which is exactly what we want. So let's go ahead and test that out. Let's see what we have here. We have a warning action and drop down is disabled. Yeah, that's this action. That's fine. Okay. Let's go ahead and rebuild our app and see what we have. All right. Let's try this out. Let's say it's a 4-day plan. Going to select the days sequentially, create the plan. It goes ahead and creates everything. And now when we select an exercise, it should add it over here. Yeah, the formatting is a little off because we changed how it's formatting. But yeah, triceps. Well, Okay. So it's showing actually, yeah, it's showing the wrong one. It needs to, yeah. So, okay. So we're displaying stuff from here. It needs to display stuff from here. So let me go ahead and fix that. This is our drop down. I'm going to change this. This is our exercise drop down. And this is our groups, body group. Now over here, when we select it, we're only going to be past the values. We're not going to be passing the labels because the labels is just for displaying it. And so that's fine. We can always look up the exercise later. There's a couple of ways of doing it. But if we're just going to be getting the values, that's what we need to keep in mind. So I'm going to go back here. I'm going to click over here and I'm going to change the logic. So this name, you see how it's using the body group. And if we click over here, exercise, we're only getting the ID. Okay. And so we can't really save the name just yet. We can do that in a second, but we can save the exercise ID, which is what we're being passed. And so what we can do is we can look up the exercise as we're saving it. Query row, and then we can say query the exercises where ID is equal to this widget state exercise dropdown and give us back exercise record. And then we can take that record and we can update this. Okay, or we can just create it. We can do that first. Okay, so now we have the exercise record. And so we can go back to the name and we have the name. So now I can say exercise rows. That should not be rows. That should be just one row actually. So we're going to set embed index first. We want to get the name. And that's it. And that's going to go ahead and save the name. And so now we're going to have the name here. And so now the name should be displayed. The other thing I want to fix is the padding. So I want to do a little bit of padding. Let's do 10. Let's do 10 and 10 here. All right, let's go ahead and create a session and see how it looks. All right, let's try 3. Put 3 in here, create a plan. And what do we have over here? So right now, if you take a look, page state, we have empty exercises. Current day 0 because this is the first one. And now let's say I select something and let me see, do we have global properties? So I select barbell deadlift. And as you can see, now it's showing up over here, barbell deadlift here. And so here we see exercise ID 17, 5, and 10. And name is barbell deadlift. So if we go back to our exercises table and we go to 17, you see it says barbell squats, but it should be barbell deadlift. It's 17, its exercise ID is 17. So let me double check this. So let's say I select plank. It's still showing barbell deadlift, but exercise ID is now 16. So 16 is plank. Okay, so something is off with the lookup. Let me double check what's going on. Let me come back here, and this is our query. We're querying by the exercise dropdown. And so now let me see. Let's say a dialogues, confirm dialogue, and let's say the value is, I don't know, test. And let's say the message is this exercises, and we are gonna get name. Okay. And let's see what name it shows. This is what we're querying here. And we should be querying by the ID. Okay, let's see if that works. Just a little bit of debugging. All right, let's try this again. See what happens there. Okay, so now if you select, let's say barbell squats, it's showing barbell deadlift. Okay, and that's what it's saving. If I do plank, it still shows barbell deadlift. So there's some kind of an issue. Let's double check. We are querying filter is the drop down. Let me see. Let's go ahead and let's do the drop down. So when we click it, widget state, exercise drop down. So this should be changing. Okay. So this ID should change. Let me double check. Okay. Let's run that again. And now if I select, well, I select this, but if I select this barbell deadlift, okay, it says dumbbell, if I select dumbbell bench press, 11 is what we're getting. That is 11. That's right. If I hit confirm, now it's still telling me barbell deadlift. Okay, interesting. Interesting, it's telling me that. So plank, yeah, it's 16. Still barbell. So something wrong with the logic. 15. Let's go ahead and see what's happening here. What is wrong with the logic? Is it being modified? Query rows, exercise, ID, exercise dropdown. We should only have one row. Okay, let me see. Num rows, number of items. Let's double check that. Maybe we're getting a bunch. I select something here, 14. 10 rows. Okay, that should not be the case. That should not be 10 rows. Are we filtering it? Backend. filter ID is equal to exercise dropdown. How are we getting exercise record? What are we getting here? Exercise rows. That's the problem. We are supposed to get action output, exercise record, item with index first, and now we can get the ID. That's the problem. We're dealing with a completely different yes. So this is going to be exercise record. And now we have exercise record. That's what we're going to be displaying. And still we need to make sure that we save it correctly. So name, exercise record, action output. That's going to be item with index first, ID. No, name. Name, right? Right. That's name, but we still need the ID. The ID, we get it from the dropdown. Perfect. So we can delete this. Strange, very, very strange bug. Okay. Let's go ahead and recompile this. Okay. Do this. Okay. Now we should be in business. Okay. Barbell squats. Machine chest fly. Perfect. Plank. Okay. So now what we need to do is we need to add options to add or remove this. Okay. And we can do that on this row over here. So I'm going to add an icon button. I'm going to add two of them. The first one is going to be add. So maybe this one, and this one is going to be removed. So minus. We have minus. Remove actually. So when we add it, we simply we go to another screen where we need to configure it, add the sets and all that. But when we remove it, that is easy. Removing simply removes this thing from the page state. So we're gonna do that. Page state, update page state. Exercises, we're gonna do remove from list at index. And the index, what is the index? Well, the index is this, index and list. Every item comes back. Actually, yeah. Is this right? X record. Yes. Yes. Index and list. Yep. And that should remove it and rebuild it. So let's go ahead and test it out real quick. There it is. So we have the button. They're not, sized correctly and all that. We'll fix them. So if I do that, it removes it. If I do that, they're re-added. So I can remove that plank, remove everything. Now, the next thing I want to work on is the exercise configure screen, right? So the idea is when you press add, you need to configure the exercise. So more specifically, you need to enter maybe the sets, the reps, the weight that you're going to be using, and then you'll be able to add the exercise. So let's go ahead and duplicate this. I like this layout, and this is going to be add exercise, and this is going to be add exercise details. Okay, and let's see. I'm going to go ahead and we don't need that. And here, what I'm going to do is we have this card. I'm going to go ahead and duplicate it, and I'm going to say, I'm going to duplicate this again, and this is going to be reps. This is going to be weight. And we also want to have another card up on top. And here I want to display the name of the exercise and the body part. And here we're going to have a row and another row. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that. I'm going to duplicate this, and I'm going to go ahead and center that. They're going to be centered nicely. And this is going to be a little bit bigger, maybe a little bit bolder, maybe. And this is going to be the body part. Okay. And so, which means is that we need to look up the exercise information. So when we add this, right, when we click this icon button, this is add exercise and this is remove. Just going to do that. So when we add, we're going to navigate to that page, and we are going to pass some exercise information. So I'm going to do navigate to add exercise. This one, add exercise, and we want to pass something. So what do we want to pass? We have the name and we also have the ID, so we can just pass that. And we can also look up the body part as well. So in fact, why don't we just pass the ID and look up everything that we need on the other page? That's fine. So I'm going to add a parameter, exercise ID, and we also need the where to add it. Right. So what are we adding exercises to, right? We're adding it to the workday, we're placing them here, this workout day. That's what we need to do, right? Because we need the workout day ID, we need the exercise ID, and then we need all the other information. And so, we also need the workout day ID as well. Okay, because we're going to be placing in this table. And so I'm going to say workout day ID. This is also an integer. This thing is an integer. Both are required. Okay, so let's go ahead and pass exercise ID. That's data structure field. It's not. Exercise ID. We do have it. Okay, perfect. And now we need to pass the workout day. So that is a little bit trickier because I'm not sure even if it gets it. plan ID, workout day ID. Yeah, so workout day ID is actually computed here. It's computed because we have the plan ID, and look at this, it's computed. It's even computed on this button, right? Current day. So we have the current day. Okay. So we can do that like this. Workout day ID, we're gonna take the workout days rows. We're gonna look up item at index. We're gonna say specific index. We're gonna say current day because this could be multiple days, right? And we're going to get the ID. And that's going to give us the ID, the workout day ID, right? Because workout days. Okay. So we're going to get the ID, and we have the exercise ID, and we have the workout day plan ID. So now we can come back over here and we can do a lookup on everything that we need to know about the exercise. So I can just do a high level lookup, Supabase query, and that's fine. Not a big performance hit. We're going to do an exercise lookup, single row at filter ID equals to exercise ID. And now we have exercise information. So we can say, well, this is the name of the exercises row. Why is, yes, perfect. Name, default name. And this is the body part. Exercises row, muscle group. Muscle group is a better way to call it. And there's the muscle group. And now we have all the information. And so when we create a plan, we're not creating a plan. We're adding exercise. Add exercise today, or just add exercise. That's fine. And what we're going to do is we're going to add that record, right? So I believe we have that call somewhere. I think, yeah, right here. So that's why it's a good idea to copy it, because we can always reuse it. And so now we can come over here. Oops. Okay. So this is what we need to delete because we've duplicated the page, and can we paste it? Trigger type on tap, paste action. Okay, and so now we can fix it up. Enable it, and this is where we're gonna do a workout day ID. We have it, workout day ID. Exercise ID, we have the exercise ID. And now sets is gonna be this widget state. I think it's the first one. Sets, reps, weight. Okay, let me go ahead and rename them. This is sets. Okay, and now this does it. We're simply going to navigate back. Let's see. Yeah, navigate back is one way. We can also do this as a component that pops up. That is another option. All right, so here's our app. Let's go ahead and select something here. And now we're here. We have our barbell squats. We have our plank, whatever. Dumbbell single R. And let's say we want to add the plank. Come over here, and now we have the screen. Plank core. Perfect. And so let's say we want to do 5 sets. 8 reps each. There's no weight, right? I mean, I guess you can put weight on it. Let's say, I don't know, 20 pounds. Add exercise. Okay. So we've added the exercise. Nothing happened here because we're not doing anything here. Ideally, what we wanted to happen is maybe create another area and remove it here. Or just remove it altogether. Okay, and so now if we come back over here and we refresh this, we should have it. Yeah, it's this one. Let's start from the beginning. Workout plans, 38. Workout days, 122, 123, 124. We just did 122. And we come over here and this is 122. So that's the exercise that we've just added. If we add another one, same thing is going to happen. Let's say I want to add this one. I want to do 5 sets, 10 reps. I don't know, 150 pounds. Okay. And so now if we go back, we should have another record here. And there's the record. You see, same workout day ID, different exercise ID, different data here. Now we can go to the next day. Okay, and you see how it's displaying here. And so what we need to do is we need to make sure that we clear it. Once you go to the next day, everything is cleared. Okay, so that you start over. That's kind of how it works. And when you add it, I'm just going to remove it here. And so if you come back, you want to do something else with those, it's up to you. But I'm going to remove it. And then when you go to the next page, I'm going to remove it as well. So click over here, open this up. So this means that we still have days to cover. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and clear my this thing, the exercises. Just going to reset it. That's it. You go to the next day, you start over. And this thing increments our day. That's it. As simple as that. Whereas here, nothing happens. Split, this is the last step. And this is where we say split has been created. Now, right here, when you add an exercise and when you want to remove it over there, you can't really remove it because we don't have access to it from here. And so one thing that we can do is, well, there's a couple of things that we can do. We can create it as a component, and that way we have access to the enclosing page. Or if you click the plus, we automatically remove it. Okay, but that's probably not that good. Another thing that we can do is when we load the stuff here, we can basically check if we have that exercise created. But I think the best approach would be to convert it into a component, right? I think that's really the best approach. And so that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to go ahead and convert it to a component. Let's do it from here. And I'm going to say add exercise. And this is probably the best approach. Okay, so it basically created a component in this page. That's not what we want. What we want to do is we want a component to load from here. And so instead of navigate, what we're going to do is we're going to say, I keep forgetting, is it the show dialog box? I think that's the name. Drawer. Oh, bottom sheet. I keep forgetting the name. Bottom sheet. We're going to say add exercise, and then we're going to pass all of these parameters. Yeah, so it basically named them like whatever it wanted. Let's go ahead and rename these parameters. So we have this component here, put it here. We have a bunch of parameters. So let's go from the beginning. What parameters do we need? We need, yeah. So at the top level, we can get it, and we can get the data. And so we need plan ID at least. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to copy this. I'm going to go to our component. I'm going to go here. I can't do it at this level. I can't do it on this level. I'm going to paste it. Filters are invalid. I can't even paste it. Okay. Let's go ahead and do this manually. Oh, I can paste it here. Okay, perfect. So workout days. I don't think I want workout days. I want to get exercises. That's what I want. I want to get exercises, and I want to get single row, and I want to filter by exercise ID, which we're not passing. You see it's over here. Okay, so we need to rename it. So let's go ahead and rename it. Exercise ID is this one. I'm going to say exercise ID, plan ID, or workout plan ID. Okay, and I don't know what these strings are for. I don't remember because I don't think we need them. Think it just created them for the heck of it. We don't need this second one either. Okay, and so now we can do our query, right? We can paste it here, and we can set it up. So we can say, well, we want exercises, one single row, we want to filter by exercise ID. Okay, and now we can get everything we need to know. Yeah, because it's passing the parameter here. Okay, so we don't need to do that. This is the name of the exercise, and this is the muscle group. All right, so we have that. That's going to enter it, and now we can run our query. We need to make sure that we have it. Workout day ID, no. We need to pass. Are we passing workout day ID? No, we're not. We have plan ID, but we don't have day ID. So we have the exercise ID and then everything else. So this thing, we need the workout day ID because we need to save it right here. And we get that by creating it. So if we go over here, insert row, yeah, workout day ID. Where is it getting it? Okay. Is it getting passed? I guess it's getting passed. Yeah, it's getting passed. Okay. Plan ID. Okay, we need to pass plan ID. We need to pass the exercise ID, workout plan ID. We have plan ID. These ones, yeah, we need to also pass the workout day ID. Okay, so workout day ID is something that we can figure out on our own if we pass the day, right? Current day index. That's what we need to do. So we're going to pass that, and then we can figure it out on our own. And so if we come over here, this has, no, so this page we can delete completely, yeah, because we don't really need that anymore. And so this one, we have current day index, and we can send it, right? When we do this add, we can simply pass. And from the current day index, we can figure out the day ID. So we can go back here. And when we add it, workout day ID, we can figure out from the current day index. Well, it's not, it's going to be, we need to query rows, workout days, filter by, no, plan ID, workout plan ID. And so we have this. So we have the days. And now we can simply, well, we need to do this. So this is workout days rex. Come back over here, workout day ID. And we can say workout days rex, item at index, not first, specific index, currency. And we need to get the ID. That's it. We also need to make sure that we are sorting them by the ID, by the actual ID, by the ID in increasing order, so that we capture the right one. Okay, so this should be fine, and then we don't need navigate. We just need close. Bottom should dismiss. That's it. So this looks up the it gets the workout day stuff. It gets this, saves this, adds that. And it closes. Now we need to make sure that we are displaying it correctly. Add background color optional. Yes, we need the background color. This one is the background color. And the other thing is height. We can set the height. Let's say something like this. 400 pixels should do it. So let's go ahead and see if this works. And then we'll delete from the page state. All right, so here's the app. Let's see. Do that. Let's go ahead and add this one. Add it right here. Okay, so we have an overflow issue by 28 pixels. So we need to make it like 430 instead of 400. So sets, so yeah, it's displaying everything correctly. All the parameters, component arguments, parameters are being passed correctly. 10, 10, 120. Let's do this. Okay, so now it should save it, and we have a new record. So this is workout day ID is 125, I'm guessing, because the time is correct. And so this is our days, 127 is the last day. Plan ID is 39. So if we go to workout plans, that's our work the plans, 123, 3 days. And what is that? 39, right? We go to workout days. Where you see 39, you see those 3 days. Those are the days that we've created, and workout day exercises. Well, if we go back here, we have 125, 126, 127. Go here, we have 125, and this is what we created, and this is the ID. We just need to fix a couple of things. So we need to make sure that it is displaying correctly. So let's say add, and I'm going to say 430. That should do it. And we can probably clean it up a little bit, right? Because we just converted it. So I'm going to say, take a column, maybe do like a little bit of padding. I don't know if that looks better. Maybe, let's see. Yeah, maybe we can do the cards, do a little bit of padding on the card, 20. Okay, there's still that background, which is this column background that's being set up. So what we can do is we can wrap it in a container and then set the color here to white, and that will do it. And so now we can do our padding. We can even do the padding on the column. Okay, that looks a little bit better. Remove the padding here. Okay, so something like this. All right, so here's our app, and we can test out the whole flow here on a simulator just to make sure it works. So we run that. This is day 1, so I'm going to go ahead and select biceps, and I want search something, this one. And so now it's displayed here, and we need to kind of fix that. Now if I go over here, okay, so it's still overflowing by 62 pixels. Okay, we'll fix that. We'll make it a bit bigger. But right now I can do 10, 10, 5, and let's go ahead and see if we can run it. No, I don't think we can. Let me go ahead and make it a little bit bigger by 62 pixels. Okay, so we're gonna go back here, and we are going to, this thing opens it, and let's go ahead and make it 550. Okay, for good measure. Let's go ahead and run it again. Okay, let's go ahead and restart it. All right, let's try that again. Okay, that's better, right? Much better. 10 sets, 10 reps, 120 weight, add exercise. And now the exercise should be added. Okay, and so we need to do something with this. The problem is that component, it doesn't have access to this page, because only the page has access to this. And so one thing that I would recommend is we can make it an app state, because app state, it's going to have access to it. And that way it can automatically delete it off this list because it's already been added. Another thing that we can do is we can change it, do something else, or cycle through the elements that have been added. And if we find something that of this, we basically do something with it, right? You know, remove this button or something like that. So first, Let me go ahead and see what we can do. Let me go ahead and change this layout here, make it a little bit nicer. So this is this row right here. And as you can see, we used to have something like this, even spacing. And that may be a decent approach, actually. Decent, but it centers it, right? It centers it on top. So I don't know if that's what we want. Let's see. I would just say, let's go ahead and give it a little bit more padding. I think 15 would be better. Yeah, 15 might be better. So does this have any padding? This doesn't have any padding. Yeah, so I think 15 is good. 15 should be better. Let me give it another try. Go ahead and reload this app. Okay, that looks a little bit better. It's just this, I want to place them together. And so if I click this, 10 sets, 10 reps, wait, add exercise, and it should be added. And we should have a snack bar that says this has been added. And then maybe remove this one. That could be an approach, okay? So let's see what we can do. So we have this list view that displays items. So where is it getting them from? It's getting them from exercises, right? So exercises is our page state. So it's getting it from page state. And so one thing that we can do is we can have a conditional inside. This conditional is going to compare each of these items to the items that are already in the database, okay? And then decide whether, to display it or not display it, okay? So for instance, we can have a card that looks like this, and another card that looks like that. Or we can just have this add thing, this add exercise button conditional, meaning that if it already exists in the list, this ID already exists in the list, or this item already exists in the list, then don't display it again. Okay, and so let me double check. We are displaying our exercises, which is page state of this exercise. Do we have an ID? We have an exercise ID that we're storing there. Okay, and so we can check if this exercise ID is already stored in our database, then we can take some other action, okay? But before we do that, we need to wrap this in a container so that we can get all the exercise IDs. Okay, so I'm gonna I want to duplicate it. I want to wrap this. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this in the container, and then on the container level, we can do a query and get all the exercises that were added. So like workout day exercises, right? We can do all that, and we can also filter them by the day. That's actually a good idea. We can filter them by the day. Let me see if we can do that. We can filter them by the workout day ID, right? Because we want to specify the workout day ID. So let's go ahead and filter them here. We have our workout days. We are going to item at index. We're going to say specific index, and we have that current. And that's going to give us this specific workout day, and we're going to get the ID, right? Workout day ID. Okay, and so we're going to compare them. So we're going to get the exercise for this specific day. We are going to get all of them, right? We're going to get all of them. And what's cool about this is that we can do stuff with it, right? So if there's a record here, we can simply do something else. Okay, so this is going to give us all the records. And here what we can do is, for instance, if it already exists, we can change the background color. We can click this and we can do a conditional value. Right, so I can create any condition that I want. And so in this example, what we can do is we can create an inline function that takes two arguments. One is a list of existing exercise IDs for this page that we have, and the exercise ID that we have. So I'm going to say this is going to be a list of exercise IDs. So these are existing XIDs. We're going to select this right here, and we're going to map them because we only want a specific item and we want the exercise ID. Okay, so now we're passing a list of existing exercise IDs. And here we're going to pass the exercise ID here. So this is current XID, and this is going to be this item data exercise ID. Okay, and so now what we need to do is we can, this is an integer. Okay, and the return type is going to be a Boolean. And so all we need to do is we need to take this list here, and check if this one exists. Because if it exists, then it's been added already. And that way we can, not display it or change the color or something like this. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here. I'm going to take my exists, and we can simply say contains. Existing contains, okay? And so if it's true, we can do one thing. If it's not, we can do something else. So if it's true, let's say we make it, I don't know, pink color. And otherwise, we can make it white color. Okay, let's see if that works. Okay, let's try this again. I'm gonna select this one, and let's say I added 10, 10, 10. Doesn't really matter. Okay, and you see that it automatically worked. And so it knows that it's there. And so when it refreshed it, it checked and it shows us this. And so using this technique, you can do anything that you want. You can disable the button, or let me make it like not pinkish, but maybe greenish, something like this, right? So that we know it's there. And we can take this, copy this. In fact, what you want to do is you want to copy this, copy that, and you can use it anywhere that you want. So for instance, you can disable this. This could be a conditional, but now you need to make sure. So if it exists, yes, you want to disable it. That should do it. Okay. And so now we go back, we pull the latest, and we refresh the app. Okay. So you see the color change. And so now I can add something else. I can come over here, and if I add, you see this hasn't been added. Oh, okay, so the button, it's incorrect. It should be the other way. We need the opposite statement. Okay, let's try that again. Let's do that. Okay, so now it works. You see that the plus button is disabled here, but it is enabled here. So if I go ahead and add it, it will be disabled. Okay, now it's green. But if we go for the next day, it should be fine. So body weight squats, machine chest flies. So if I go to the next day, and I do machine, I add this, you see it's fine now. Why? Because it's not in this day, right? So if I add it here, it's gonna be green, right? Because it checks the day, right? You can add the same exercise for different days, and that still should be fine. And so this logic works. This also works, except this deletes it from the page state. It does not delete it from the database. Okay, so now we have, we need to also delete it from the database. So that is another thing that we need to do. But one thing that I want to do is I want to make it a little bit nicer now. Okay, change how the buttons work. So if you do this and I select this, I want to fix that. I don't like these buttons at all. The fill color, let's make it white. Let me expand this a little bit so that we see it. Okay, so now info color is gonna be black, or even, black is nice. And we can also make border radius. Well, I don't think this is going to affect anything because it's just how it is. So that's a little bit better. And same thing here. I'm going to delete that and I'm going to make this like this. Okay, that's a little bit better because I don't like this dark blue everywhere. And another thing that I want to do is I want to have these buttons wrapped in their own kind of row so that they have their own alignment. So I'm going to add a row and I'm going to put these buttons in there. Okay, so now they're next to each other, right? So that we have this alignment, and this acts as a single block, okay, which I like better. Okay, so if we go over here, you can't really see them because this. In fact, we can change that, right? We can say UI so that we see it. So this is name, this is sets, and that way we can see the UI. And this is reps. That's actually a good idea because now you can see the UI. So that looks pretty decent. Let me check how it looks in the app. Maybe make it a little bit bigger, the text. It's a little too small, I think. 14, maybe 16, maybe 15. I think 15 is good. Okay, and so we have this over here. This is good. And this thing needs to delete it from the database table as well, okay? Because, well, we've added it. This shouldn't just delete it from the page state. It should delete it from there as well. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to do a Supabase delete row. We're going to select a workout day exercises, correct? We don't really need to return matching rows. We need matching rows because we need the workout day ID. I think that's it. Actually, no, we need just the ID, and we don't have the ID. Workout day exercises rows. We have this, but that's not gonna give us. Actually, no, because those are just exercises. So we have ID. What else do we have? We have workout day exercises rows. That's from the container query. We can filter it and find the exercise, right? We can filter them. And we can say item in list. No, we need a condition. And what we can do is we can say, well, item in list is equal to, no, get row field. That's what we want. And we want to filter by workout day ID. Yes. workout day ID. That's what we want, is equal to workout day ID is equal to wait, filter. Wait 1 second. Let me double check what we're doing here. We are getting workout day exercises, which is this one right here, workout day exercises. And if we refresh it, we have this new exercise. So we need to find the ID, or we can get the workout day IDs. No, we don't want the workout day ID because that's the days. We only want the ID here, but we don't have that ID because when we add it, we don't really track it. And so what we can do is we can kill it by the exercise ID and the workout day ID, because you're typically not going to have the same exercise multiple times in that day. You're going to have it once, you're going to have your sets, you're going to have this, and then you're going to move on. So we can have a filter by the workout day ID and the exercise ID. You can have it just one. Because if you have it just this, you're going to delete a lot. If you just have it this, you're going to delete a lot. So workout day ID and exercise ID. So that's what we need. Workout day ID is equal to, let me see. Do we even have it? Well, we have the exercise ID. Workout day ID. We should have it. I believe it is equal to, I believe if we do workout day exercises, workout days, well, we can do workout day exercises and we can say workout day ID is equal to, let's see, filter, item in list, workout day exercises, and we can get it by the day. So item it index, specific, current day index, and then we can get what we need, workout day ID. Yeah, that should do it. Let me double check. Workout day exercises. We have this workout day ID. Okay, so what do we have? We have workout day ID, and we need to get this somewhere. Workout day ID, when this is created, we have a query here that gets some workout day exercises. Workout day ID is equal to ID. What is this ID? Equal to ID. This is workout day ID. Okay, so we can copy this variable, go back here, and put it in here, and that's going to give us the workout day ID. Workout day ID, we have the ID, and we need to add exercise ID is equal to, we have the item. This is something that we're storing. Okay, and that's it. So that should delete it. Let's go ahead and see if that works. Let's do a hot reload. Let's go ahead and try this, and I added dumbbell overhead press. Okay, it is there, and let's go ahead and look at our database. We have our exercises. And this is this dumbbell, right? So if you take a look here, this should be the dumbbell. Yep, overhead press, dumbbell overhead. So we need to delete this record, right? So if I go back and I press this, it should hopefully delete this one, 21. And it is, okay? All right, so now this works. Okay, let's try this again. Let's try plank. I'm going to add it. 20 sets, 20, 10. Okay, it is there, and it should be here. There's plank, double check, plank. Okay, so if we delete it, it should be deleted. 22 ID, 22 should be gone. Okay, gone. No more 22. All right, so as you can see, this works perfectly. We're able to add the exercise and create a customized weekly split. Next, let's go ahead and create a page for adding your own custom exercises. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and use this page for inspiration. So I'm gonna say add new exercise, because we already have add exercise to your day. Add new exercise. Okay, and this is gonna be a basic page. It's just going to have the name, the muscle group, equipment, description. That's it. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this card. And I believe in the database, we have a field for custom, for us, is custom. So these are all built-in exercises, but we have a custom field so that we can differentiate exercises that are bundled with the app and exercises that were created by others. And we'll also make them available throughout the user base. We'll make them available to everybody. All right, so we're going to call this create exercise. And this page is going to start having it needs a tab bar, right? Because it needs to be accessed everywhere. I'm going to say, add new exercise. Actually, no, create. I'm just going to call it create exercise. I think that's a better name. Okay, so we've renamed that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and make this maximum. I think I should do that everywhere, in fact. And I am going to go ahead and I want to expand this. So there's a column. I'm going to make it I'm going to create another column. Actually, I'm going to wrap this in a column. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add, I'm going to get them rearranged. What is it? Name, muscle group, description, equipment. So, okay, let me go ahead and change this equipment description. And the reason I did that is I'm going to show you in a second because it allows me to do some interesting things. So I can take this and I can maximize it. And that brings this down, which is kind of what I wanted. Now, this description, I'm going to make the min lines, I think 5 and 5, something like that. And that's starting to look pretty nice. Starting to look really nice. Something like this. I think this is nice. Maybe even bigger. Maybe even 10. I don't know. Just to make it fill up the page. Something like this. And we can also do a little bit of padding on this column, right? Because we have control. So something like this, or maybe not. I think from the top is better. And now what I want to do is I want to give it a nav bar and I want to turn the setting on. And what else? We have home. We still need to get to it. We will. We have create exercise and we have create plan. Okay. And so home is home. Create plan comes next. And we're going to say plan, something with plan. I think bullseye. How about this? This is nice. And let's switch it over all of them to these font awesome icons. And this last one, create exercise, right? So this is going to be exercise. Why is there a lock? How about gym? Nothing. How about workout? So maybe something like this. All right. So we have this create exercise. And the idea is it's just going to save it into this table. Muscle group name, description. Do we have name? Yeah, we have name, description, video URL, difficulty. Yeah, let's do that. We have a lot of space. And let's say difficulty. I'm going to replace this with a drop down. And we're going to do what are we? Beginner, intermediate. Okay. And that's it. And so now actually it's taking up too much space. And what else do we need? Video URL. Well, we'll just skip that for now. I mean, we could have it. Why not? Let's just do it. We have enough space. Just going to say, and now let's make it a little bit less now. So this is going to be video URL. And that's it. So now we just need to name them. Name, equipment, VURL, difficulty, and that's it. So let's see. Okay. We copied this. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and delete all this. Delete loop actions, delete all of this. And here we're going to go into exercises. We're going to delete all this. Muscle group, we have it. Equipment, description, video URL, difficulty. I think we have. Do we have and is custom? This is going to be true automatically. And name is name. Nothing complicated about that. And that's it. And so this is exercise rec. And that's it. We're pretty much done. And so at this point, we can just display something. We don't need to redirect anywhere. It's on its own tab. We can basically add a snack bar. And that's it. And they can add more exercises, as many as they want. All right. Let's go ahead and test this out. Okay, there we go. So our home is empty. We're going to do that later. We have this plan and we can add an exercise. So let's say I want to add, I don't know, barbell curls or hammer curls, biceps, equipment, video URL, news.com, difficulty, beginner, great exercise for building your guns. It says create plan. Well, it should not say create plan. Let me fix that. While I remember, create exercise. And now if we go to our database, guess what? There it is custom is true. Very simple. Oops. Right here, easy bar is custom is true. And so this will allow us to create custom exercises and use them in our workout plans. Next, let's work on the home page. So the idea for the home page is that the user logs in and they see the day of the week and they see the things that they need to do. And they'll be able to check off the things that they are slated to do. If that day is part of their existing split. If not, then, it's just going to say something, nothing to do today, just relax or something like this, take it easy. And so what we're going to do is we're going to try to use one of these existing layouts here. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with this column and I'm going to create a text that's going to be displaying the day of the week, and then we're going to list the things that they need to do as part of their split. So I'm going to add a card. I'm going to add a text. I am going to also, let's see, I'm going to wrap this in a row so that it extends automatically. And this way we can do something like this. We're going to do some nice padding on this. Let's say 30. And I'm going to do padding. Actually, let's do padding on the row. It's going to be better. And I'm going to create a wrapper on the container. I'm going to contain it so that I can do nice padding with it. Okay. So let's say we try padding on the container, something like this, and the fill color is going to be white. Okay. And all right. So we have this padding. We can also try padding right here. Okay. That's better. And then let's do that. Okay. That looks a lot better. And now let's go ahead and make this a little bit bigger. So something like this, maybe even a little bit something like this maybe. And so we have a row, we have a container, and we have a card. Okay. And so let's go ahead and display this the day of the week. Okay. And so this is going to be the day of the week. And the way that we can do it is we can just select current time, datetime format. And what we can do is this one, this format. And that's going to display the day of the week. So today is a Thursday. It should hopefully display a Thursday. So let's go ahead and test this out. Go ahead and pull the latest. And let's see if our home widget has this. So yeah, it has this formatting. So, okay, let's wait for this to build. All right, so here's our app. And if you go over here, you see it's displaying Thursday. So at least this works. Now, the next thing is a little trickier, okay? Because the idea is we need to list the exercises that the user is slated to do, okay? And this means that we need to be using some intricate GraphQL queries, okay? So if we go into our plans, we have the user ID. So all of these are my plans, okay? And typically, you're not going to have multiple plans, right? You're going to have just one split, right? It's a weekly split. You're just going to have one. It's a 5-day split, a 3-day split, 3 days a week, rest in between, whatever. But here we have a lot. So let's say we're looking at the last one, okay? Here, we're going to go into workout days. And let me go ahead and get this plan. So this is plan ID 45. We're going to go into workout days. And we can see that we have 3 days defined. And now we can go into 142, 143, 144 for the exercises for those days. And here you can see that 142, which is the first day, we have 2 exercises, right? Exercise ID 19 and 20. And so what we need to do is we need to get these exercises and display them if they fall on a Thursday. Okay, so what are these exercises here? Well, we have a dumbbell back, and we have the core medicine ball. Okay, so these are the exercises. Now, if we go back to the days, and we go to 142, we need to make sure. So this is day number 4, or day number 4 starting from 0, or day 5 typically. So day 5 would be, what is that? Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And so if you open on a Thursday, you should see no exercises because you have a 3-day split starting, Friday going, that is active on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Okay. And so you should not see anything here. And so we need to create a GraphQL query that will display the names of the exercises, but also inside the exercises, the actual sets, reps, weight per exercise. Okay? So there's lots of things happening, and you can create a view to do all that, of course, but it's a lot more interesting to do it with GraphQL, okay? And so let's go ahead and jump into our integrations in GraphQL, okay? And come over here. And I have here prepared a kind of a query that we can start working with. So it starts with Workday Exercises collection. And so this collection, let me open it again that we can see it. So this collection is this table right here, Workday Exercises. So we're going with this collection because we want to display the exercises, right? We're looking at the exercises, and that's why. And here we're doing a filter on Workday, right? So here you don't see a Workday, right? So what you need to do is you need to go back on the Workday, right? So if you go into Workdays, so we're kind of working backwards. So if you go on the Workday, 142, 143, 144, we have the Workday ID, right? But ID is not good enough. We actually need the actual Workday. See, it's telling us, if we do something like this, we can only get the Workday ID. And that is because we need to create a reference back to the other table, right? If you look at this table, Workday Exercises, yeah, you have this Workday ID, but, GraphQL does not understand all that, right? And so what we need to do is we need to make sure this works. And so we're going to say, I want to execute the following GraphQL query. Can you assist me in telling me which references and where do I need to create? Okay, let's see if it's able to figure it out. It's a lot of intricate things happening, but in a nutshell, what we need to do is we need a reference from workday exercises to workout days, because we need to, understand, kind of unpack this ID here, right? And there's also a couple of other references depending on what we're trying to do. So let's see if it's able to get it right. So here it's recommending us to create a bunch of tables. We already have the tables. I already have all the tables needed. I just need to create the references. I can display the right data. Let's see what happens. All right, here we go. So I'll help you based on the okay. So now we see the references. Ensure foreign key references exist. So here's the first reference, okay? There's a bunch of references. Let's see if this works. I'm going to go ahead and execute this to ensure this works smoothly, etc., etc. So let's go ahead and run this query. Relation workout day does not exist. So what is this workout day? References workout day. Okay, let's see if it's able to fix it. Okay, so it's giving me the right sample data, which is good, but let's see if it's able to give us. I'll apologize, hasn't been created. Workout day. Okay, so it looks like it has. So it looks like it's asking me to create more tables. I don't really need to create any tables. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to feed it my table schema. I'm just going to feed all this. All right, so after some more GraphQL testing and things like that, I ended up on this query here, right? So we're starting from the plans collection because we can filter by the user. And then we're going down on the days collection, the days exercises we're filtering. So we have this top-down approach. Workout plans, workout days, workout day exercises. So we're looking for this ID on this day, and then we get the list. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back and I'm going to start over. Okay, I'm going to delete all the plans because we have a lot of test data. I'm going to go in here. I'm going to delete this. Let's go ahead and delete from the bottom up. Okay, that deleted. Now we can delete this because we have a bunch of references. Okay, and now we can delete the plans. And I'm going to rerun the app and start from the beginning. So we kind of have this top down or bottom up approach depending on how you look at it. So if I go over here and I create a plan, let's say we do a 3-day split. It's going to start Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, right? Create a plan here. And on the first, I'm going to say whatever. Triceps. Let's do chest. Dumbbell bench press. We're going to go ahead and add it. Let's say I want to do 10 sets. I don't know, 90 pounds. Okay, so we have that. And I also want to add a plank. Going to add a plank. 10 sets, 10 reps, no weight. 1 pound weight. Okay, so we have that. I'm gonna go on the next day and I'm gonna do, let's say, squats, right? So I'm gonna do legs, squats. I'm gonna do 10 sets, 10 reps, 135. Okay, so that is added. And then the third day, we are going to do hammer curls, biceps. I'm going to add this, 10 sets, 10 reps, weight, I don't know, 50. And then we're done. So the split has been created. Let's see what it has created. So we have our plan. Now we have one plan, which is good. And if we go into days, we have 3 days, day 1, day 2, day 3. So this needs to also say set day of the week, because that is a new field that I'm added. So I'm going to do this manually, but this also needs to be done. So that way it's easier for the system to look it up. And exercises, these are the exercises, right? So 2 on the first day, 1 on the next day, and another one on the last day. Okay, workout day ID. And so this looks good. Let's go ahead and try this out. So if you run this, this is what we get. Okay, so yeah, on Wednesday, it just shows us on Wednesday, right? If I put Monday, it's going to show us 2 exercises on Monday, and then Tuesday, it's going to show 1 exercise, and there's 1 exercise. But if I do something like Friday, it's going to be empty. Okay, there's nothing there. And so this is perfect because we can take this query, and I'm just going to put, let's say Monday, take this query, go back here, and we can simply run it, right? And so right now we have this GraphQL and we have it hard-coded, right? This one here, but you can make this a variable if you want, or you can just add another call here. So I'm gonna get homepage. I'm just gonna say homepage view. Okay, for a lack of a better name, we're gonna do post body JSON, same thing. In fact, why don't I just duplicate this? to make it easier. Duplicate. I'm going to say homepage view. Everything is the same. I'm going to save this. And here, I'm just going to do this. In fact, we're going to jump in here and I'm going to say, make this a one-liner. Okay, there it is. We can just copy this, go back here and paste it. And this is going to be a query. And these are going to be, we're going to save that. Let's go ahead, invalid. Oh, because of the double quotes. And there's more, I think. Yeah, there's more. And when we run this, this is what we get. We get exactly what we need. So for Monday, we have 2 exercises, right? Day 1, label. That's a Monday. Okay. So now that this works, we need to change the variables, right? We're no longer going to be passing workout day ID. We're going to be passing of the week. This is a string so that we can filter. And we're going to be passing the user ID. Come back over here and we're going to change this. And we're going to change this. Try that out. Day of the week is Monday. User ID. Try that out. Okay. And there we have it. And so now this works. You want to save it. And now all you need to do is get the data. Right, so what do we need to get here? Well, we really care about is this workout day exercises collection. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to go ahead and fish it out. Workout day exercises collection, workout days collection. Let's see, edges. That's what we need, right? Yeah, edges, node. Yep. And you want to get the list, right? You want to get that. So I'm going to add this and I'm going to give it a name. So these are our exercises. And now you want to save that and you want to test it out again and to see if it catches it. Now it catches it. This is not going to be catched because it's a different API call. All right. Okay. And so now we can display what we need to display. And so for that, I'm going to go ahead and create another card. And how do we want it? We want it to be, well, we can have a list. We can easily have a list view. And inside the list view, another card and text and lots of padding, something like this, maybe a little bit bigger, maybe 15. And let's go ahead and wrap this in a row and we can create a checkbox in case the user wants to check it that they've done it, something like this, maybe more. Yeah, this is better. And we can also list the exercises that they need to do, right? And we can have checkboxes for that as well. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to create another list. In fact, no, I'm going to do it. I don't want to do it as part of the row. I want to do it as part of the card, but I'm going to wrap it in a column like this. And then we can have more things. So another card, and we can create a row, and we can do text, and we can have checkbox. Let's go ahead and give this nice padding. Let's give it, yeah, this should work. Let's give this we can give it a border. So we can wrap it in a container and then we can remove the padding here and give it on the container level. And then we can give it a nice border with border radius 8, border width 1, border color, maybe grayish. No, that's too light. Let's test it out. Let's give it a little bit of padding on the container. I can do it on the card level. Okay, so something like this. And this I want it to be bigger. This I want it to be spaced better. Something like this. We'll see. And now we can display what we need to display. So this list view, this main one, is going to be this API call. API call homepage view. We're going to add parameters. Day of the week is current time, datetime format, and then this is our authenticated user. Okay. And so now we can say, well, guess what? We still need to capture the exercises, right? So we get the exercises here, exercise record, save it. Okay. Come back over here. And now we can go exercise record. And now we can actually fish it out. And to do that, we need to look at our results. Right? So if I run this again on a Monday, we have 2 exercises. We get these exercises. And so we have these edges. And so now we need to get node exercises name and see if that works first. And then we can do the rest if that works. And this is unchecked. This is unchecked. All right. Let's go ahead and test this out. Pull latest. All right. So this is our node exercises name. This is the JSON. And now let's go ahead and restart our app. And we are not getting it. Right. So the issue that we have is that we still have these edges here. We need to make sure that we're capturing edges as well, okay? And it needs to be a list, right? We have a JSON, but it needs to be a list. So let's go ahead and test out here. So what is this? You see how it ends in workout day collection. We need to get the edges. So workout day collection edges. Yeah, this should work. So I'm going to add this. I'm going to delete that. Very important that you have a list if you're working with lists. So now exercise list. Now we know it's a list. We go back here. We come back over here. And now it's a list. But we also need to change how we're fishing it. Yeah, it's still node exercises name. Now the issue is that we're still grabbing this. We just need to grab this. We need to go deeper. Okay. So let's go cancel out of that. And to go deeper, I'm guessing it's going to be one of these. Let's add that. Let's delete this. Let's save this. And if I preview this, yeah, this is fine. This gives us exactly what we want. And in fact, we don't even need to get nodes or any of that. We're capturing all this. And so here we just need to get reps, sets, weights, and then exercises name. That's it. So it's even easier. So if we go back here and we go to this list view, go over here, exercise list, save, and then here it's just going to be exercises name, okay, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, so if we go over here and review this, and so here we do get a list of what we need. Okay, we have this kind of split information, which we don't need. I mean, we can display the split if we want, so we can capture that if we want. But what we really care about is the list of the exercises. So that way we can display the exercise, the reps, sets, etc., etc. Let's go ahead and restart our app. Okay, so now Thursday is empty because today is Thursday, right? And we have a split that's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Okay, so if I hard code that, let's say I hard code it, I say, you know what? Don't go for the days of the week here. Just, put a Thursday, Monday. So if I put a Monday, it should hopefully display. Okay, come back over here. And now it still says Thursday because that's another, but now we see the exercises. Dumbbell bench press, etc., etc. So we don't really, we don't really need this other list because we're storing all the sets and all that. So what we can do is we can display maybe here, like how many sets we need to do, but we don't really need this sub list. So I'm going to go ahead and remove this. It's going to make it a lot easier. And so we have the exercises. And what we can do is we can maybe explain, like write a little bit below, how many sets, how many reps. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and let's say duplicate this maybe. And now I can say we don't even need this exercise. We can just do sets and reps, right? So we can do a combine. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do combine text and I'm going to do reps. Okay. And yeah, you can get more information. I'm going to do maybe something like this, sets times reps. And another thing I want to do is I want to have another row, control how they're displayed. And I'm going to have this row by default. Okay, so that's going to do it. It's going to squish them together. And so now we have this, but I want to squish them together. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a row that's going to control how these are displayed. Okay, this is separate, the checkbox. Okay, let's go ahead and run this and let's restart our app. Okay, so there you see it. So we need a little bit of spacing here. But other than that, you can see it and you can mark him as done, see what's happening, and maybe remove a little bit of padding there. There's a lot of padding. This container has some heavy padding. Let's do it everything. Let's do 20 here, and let's do 10 top bottom. Something like this. Let's put a space, a little bit of a space. Let's go ahead and see. Oh, I also want to do this row so it expands, because this doesn't really need a lot of space, but this does. This could be something like this. Doesn't even need a lot of space, but this does, right? So that it has these constraints set. And let's go ahead and try that again. Okay, so that's kind of what we see. And looks really good. Looks really good. Obviously, it's going to display the right date, get our data, and then you can check them off. And once you check it, it's going to go into our history, right? So that you've done it on this date. And we'll also have a history tab as well. The next thing I want to work on is logging all of this, right? So if we go back here, we have this workout logs table here, okay? And here we can just store the user ID, the plan ID, We also have the day number and the duration. Okay. And so each day you worked out for that specific plan, you can also specify how long you worked out for. And that way we can create reports. We can have a workout history and create reports and, save all that information for the user so they can see how well they're doing, how long they worked out, etc., etc. And so here we have we have the user ID, we have the plan ID, and then in that plan we're gonna have the day number, right? So like the first day, the second day, the third day, and the duration, how long they worked out for. Okay, and so for instance, when they see the home page, they're gonna be seeing their plan where they're split, and they may see Monday, which is maybe the first day, day zero. They may be seeing Tuesday, which is the second day, day one, and then they're gonna continue this. They're gonna do this over there, and so they're gonna check all of this off, and that's gonna save the information in the table. And so before we create the logic here, we need to make sure that we have all the data that we need. So if we go back here, this homepage view, and we execute this, right, this is what we're getting. Okay, so right now we only care about this, but we also need to capture the plan ID as well, because we need to save it here, right? The plan ID, this is the top level, the first thing that's created, that's the plan ID. So I'm gonna go ahead and fish it out. It is right here, 46, I believe, right? Yeah, 46. I'm going to go ahead and fish it out. So this is the plan ID. And let me go ahead and save that. And what else do we need? Well, day number, I believe we're going to be getting that. Actually, no, we're also not going to be getting that as well. And so what I propose is a much better way of doing it would be to start here, to start at this edge, okay? And that way we capture the day, right? We capture the day for those exercises. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and try to capture the days. Okay, so here it says day one. This is going to be a list. Now, because the page that they're going to be viewing is for that specific day, we only care about the day here. And so we can simply capture this. We have this day one here, okay? So we can simply capture that. We're not looking at multiple days because on the homepage view is just one day, right? It's today. And so this is the day number. We're going to go ahead and save this. And so now when we execute, we still have this exercise list, but now we have the plan ID and the day number, okay, which is perfect because we can use this exercise list. And that's perfect because we can get the exercise ID here. We have the plan ID, we have the day number. And so we have everything to save it. We just need the duration. And we can put in a fixed number for now and then fix the logic later to capture the duration as well, maybe with a time or something like that. But that is easy. But the trick is that we have the plan ID, we have the day number, and we have the user ID. And in fact, I want to change the UI a little bit. So here, the idea is they need to complete everything before we can save it because we're just saving that plan ID for that day. We're not saving the exercises separately because we know the exercises. And so the idea is we are going to allow them to check all of them. And once they've checked out everything, we're going to show a button that says something like, save your day or something like that. So let's go ahead and try this. I'm going to go ahead and add a button. In fact, let's go ahead and maybe wrap it in a card or a container. And let's go ahead and I'm going to wrap it also in a row, and that way I can expand it. Okay. And so now I can have this container as big as the button, and the button, we can pad it, and that's going to make it really nice. So something like this. Okay. And obviously this container can have color. Let's give it some color and round corners, border radius, something like this. And let's pad it just a tad. Okay. That looks kind of cool. And now we can just say save or finish workout or end workout, something like this, make it a little bit bigger. And so they can press it after they do all that. Okay. And this thing is not going to be, it's not going to allow them to end this workout unless they click on all of those checkboxes here, okay? And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to track how many checkboxes are selected, and we're gonna check at the end if the number of selected is equal to the total number, okay, of items. So I'm gonna create a page state variable. It's gonna be an integer. I am going to initialize it at 0, And then when they check it here, we are going to increment it, okay? And so once it's full, once the number of checkboxes is equal to the total checkboxes, this is going to be enabled. And so if we scroll down, we have button disable options, and we can have a condition. And so we can say that only this is for disabling. So it's going to be disabled. Let's go ahead and create a condition. We can say that check selected is less than total number of muscles. If we are storing that, I don't believe we're storing that. Yeah, because we're doing the query here. Okay, and so we need to store it. We need to do this query. In fact, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna copy it. I'm gonna do it on the column level so that it's available. Okay, and then this one I'm gonna remove it, and I'm still gonna do it here because we have it available. Okay, it's just now it's available. This whole query is available everywhere. Okay, and yeah, this is our condition. We're gonna go over here, and so now we can say homepage response, predefined path, exercise list, and we can say number. And so now, actually, I'm gonna copy this. This should be the second variable. Select it. Checks is less than the number of items. And so that means that they haven't done everything. They haven't completed the whole thing. And so now if you run it, this is going to be deselected. It's going to be disabled. But when you click here, what we want to do is we want to have an action to do page, and we want to increment it. Okay, and then you can also do, if they click it again, decrement it. We're gonna do that in a second, but let's go ahead and see if this logic works. Come back here, pull the latest. Let's go ahead and restart our app. Okay, so if I go here, you see how I cannot click it. It's deselected. But if I do this, I don't know why it automatically deselects it. Interesting. You see now it's available because we entered that twice. So if I restart it again, I can't click it. But here, I don't know why it jumps back. I still can't do it. But if I do it again, now I can do it. You see it says button pressed. I don't understand why they jump back. We have this strange behavior. I think that could be just maybe a bug of some sort, because there's nothing here to configure, right? I don't think that's gonna make a difference. So I have no idea. Why that is. Okay, well, let's see. Maybe it's a bug. We'll look at it later. And so now when they click on end workout, we are going to create a record that this day has been finished, right? Because it's per day, right? This thing needs a day number, and we have the day number. And so once you click it, we're going to do an insert row, logs. And now hopefully we have all the fields. User ID is auth user. Plan ID is, we have the plan. I can't get it here because it wants an integer, but maybe the plan ID is not an integer. Let me check. Plan ID should always be an integer. Yeah, it's a string. So plan ID is an integer. I can't set it. Okay, I need to parse it as an integer. No problem. And this, yeah, I can't set it. Okay, no problem. I'm just gonna parse it as an integer. And so we have the user ID. Plan ID is, it's going to be inline function. It's gonna come in as a string, and then we're gonna parse it. We're gonna say int. Is it int parse? Let's see if that works. Integer int parse, or is it, check if that works. Yeah, this should work. We didn't specify the right variable. var1, we have it. Okay. And day number, we also have the day number, but day number is, yeah, it doesn't really matter. It's a string. So I'm going to do the same thing. In fact, I'm just going to copy this, paste it here. Now we need the day number, and it's the same thing. We parse it as an integer, and we have the day number. And duration, I'm just going to put 60 minutes. Okay, and what do we have? That's it. So we are good to go. And let's also display a snack bar. Congrats on completing your workout. All right, let's go ahead and test this out. Let's see if this works as intended first. All right, here's the app. And as you can see, we can't click. I don't know, some kind of a bug. And now we can, but we get an error. Okay, let's go ahead and see what the error is. It's a formatting error. Let me see why we have a formatting. We have an int, an int, an int. Go ahead and try this out. User ID, plan ID, plan ID. Maybe the plan ID is not set up. Let me see. Let me see. Plan ID. See if this is correct. Let's see. Dialog. Plan ID. Let's see what those values are. So this is our plan ID, and I'm gonna add the day number. And let's see. I think there's. Okay. Let's see if this works. All right. Let's see if this works. This, it's parsing days. That's the problem. That's the problem. So what we need to do is we need to just get the day number. Okay, let's come over here. It doesn't have, okay, we need to specify the day number, and we can easily specify it in workout days. Yeah, day number. We're getting the label, but we need the day number. Okay, let's come over here. You see, we have this label, but we need the day number. Now, if we do that, we get exactly what we want. We get the day number. And that's it's gonna be, I think it's gonna see that it's an integer. Yeah. All right, perfect. And so now we can come back and we don't need to do all that parsing anymore. Let's go ahead and delete this. Let's come over here. We don't need to do that anymore. We can just get it straight from here. Okay, and plan ID is still parsed. Okay, let's go ahead and see if this works. I think I had a record. Let's go ahead and get new code. Come back here, click. Congrats on completing your workout. And if you come over here, we should have it. Okay, day number 0. And that's fine because we know that's a Monday. That's how we track it. Okay, so that was complete. Really nice. And now what I want to do is I want to make sure that if they load it, it's not shown, right? Because we're storing it, right? So we can go back here. And so at this top level, we can do a query, Supabase query, workout logs, and we can just get it for that day, right? So single row, filter, user ID. We need the user ID, of course. And we need to add a filter. And then we also need the day number equals to, and that day number is, so we have it hard coded, right? So I'm just going to put 0, and that should give us the data. And so if that exists, then don't show anything here. We can do a conditional. Condition, yeah, you see we have it here. So we can say ID is set. It's conditional only if it's not set, right? So we can do a reverse. Actually, the better way would be to do it. We can do a single condition and we can do workout logs. And let's go ahead and see if that works. All right. And as you can see, it's not showing anything because we have that in the history. Okay. And so in this case, what we can do is we can wrap this in a stack. We can have we can duplicate this. And so this one is not workout not done, right? And then this one is workout done. And so this one is set, something like this. And here we can, okay, let me go ahead and deselect it. This button here, yeah, it's this workout done. Okay, and we need to delete the button too. And here we can put a text. Let's wrap this in a row. This can be expanded. And then we can say, we can do nice padding on it. We can say, we can also center it if you want, and we can say something like no workouts for today, something like this. Or we know it's completed, so we can say all workouts, something like this, more or less. Okay, and let's go ahead and run this. Okay, and there you have it, right? All workouts completed. Now, let me go ahead and fix this logic. I want it to be correctly done for this day. I don't want it to be on some other day. So I'm just going to do this correctly. Current time. I'm going to say E. So now it's going to be an empty list, right? Because there's no workouts met. So what we can do is here, you can have an empty list widget, right? And so what you can do is you can create a component. In fact, we can do that right now. And I'm going to go ahead and copy this. Let's say we create a component, create blank, no workouts. And I can come over here. And here you can put a column, row, expand this card like this, put some text and give it lots of nice padding, make it a little bit bigger. And say something like, no, that's probably too much. No workouts schedule. Okay, and that's going to display it. Let me take a look at this column. Minimal expansion, so it doesn't expand all the way. And here we can go into our home and we can come over here. We can select this component, no workouts plan. And so that's going to display it. If it's empty, if we are done, it's going to display all workouts completed. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and disable it so we see the other one. Okay. And let's go ahead and see if that works. All workouts completed. Okay. And there you have it, right? So for Thursday, all workouts completed. And one more thing is that this filter needs to be on the current day. And we can use this little snippet to do it. And this is going to be the day number. So Monday 0, Tuesday 1, etc., etc. And so now it should tell us correctly that we've done something on a Monday, but today's Thursday, but we don't have anything planned on Thursday because we have a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday split. Okay, let's go ahead and get the latest code, restart the app. So we are getting some kind of an error. I think it's because of this logic here. Let me go ahead and see if I can change it. Let me go ahead and make this a list of rows. We still have the filtering, user ID. We have this. Hopefully that works correctly. And now what we can do is in our logic over here, we are not going to be using ID set. What we can do is we can simply get the rows and we can look at a number of items. Right? We can just see if the number of items are greater than 0. So I'm going to create a conditional. I'm going to come in here and now we can do number of items. So this is, we want to show this if it's 0, right? If it's equal to 0, meaning that it hasn't been done yet because this screen they see if they haven't done the workout. So if it's not in the logs, then show it, okay? So number of items is equal to 0. Let's see if that is better. And now we have this workout done, and that's the same thing, except number of items is greater than 0, meaning that there's a log for this date. Okay, let's go ahead and see if this works. That is a better approach, arguably. Now here it's still giving us an error, and it looks like it's something here. Homepage widget, line 455. So it's something here. So let me go ahead and double check. There's some logic here. So I'm going to say, let's go ahead and see if we can make it a little bit differently. So execute this logic only. So let me see if I can change it. So we don't want to execute this logic if we're not going to be showing it, right? So I'm going to create a condition. I'm going to combine conditions and I'm going to say that I'm going to paste this there. And here we need the first condition, which is where this workout rows, let me put a condition here, is greater than 0. Let's see if that fixes it, because this part does not work if you don't have any data. Okay, let me go ahead and see if that works. And here's our app. Okay, and as you can see, it looks really good, except we need to get rid of this button because there's no workout schedule, and we're going to be doing that a little bit later. And so, as you can see, it looks good, just need to get rid of this button here. Now, in order to not show this, we need a write conditional, but the issue here is that if we go to homepage and we do a test on today's date and my user ID, today's day of the week, we get all this. So if we do exercise list like before, we can't do it. It's completely null. And so what we need to do is we need to basically look at edges here and see how it's empty over here. So we can save that. And these are just workouts, right? So we have a 3-day split, but we don't have anything on that day. Okay, so we still need this information here. We see that the edges are empty. And that tells us that there's nothing to do on that date, even though we have a split, but there's nothing on the date. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, this is workout days. And if it's empty, that means there's nothing on that day. Okay, workout on specific day, something like this. Okay, and so in this case, it's empty. And what that means is that we can go back and we can set a conditional. We can also set a conditional for the whole thing if we want, but why don't we just set a conditional for this row right here? And we can say that, hey, we're getting this, we have, and workout specific date, it's going to be empty, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to do a condition, single, paste that, and if it's greater than 0, display it. It's not parsing it as a number. Let me go ahead and fix that. That should be a number. It's parsing it as a JSON. That should be a number. It's okay. It's not parsing it as a list. Okay, so we got the wrong one. Good. That's what we need. That was a good test. So we're going to copy this here, delete this, and that should be a list. It's still not a list. It is a list. It is a list. Okay, it is a list. Because if we go over here, this thing is a list. Okay, good. So it is a list. And now what we can do is we can go over here, predefined path, workout, and we can do the, okay, yeah, we can do it. We can do it by creating a condition. There we go. Number of items. So number of items needs to be greater than 0 for this to work. Okay, for this to display. And that's going to be 0 on that day. if we already did everything. Okay, we're gonna come over here, pull in our new code and refresh this. And now it's telling us no workout scheduled. Okay, it doesn't line up correctly. Let me go and fix that. Workouts completed, not done, schedule. It's our thing. It's this, and there's a lot of padding. Oh, it's 30 padding. That's why. I think 20 should be better. Or 25. Okay, that looks better. It's almost flush. And that's how we fix this issue there.
And by the way, if you're serious about building apps, you need to know about Supabase. Supabase is all about storing your data. And not just that, it gives you a lot more functionality. There's cloud functions, storage, authentication, so much cool things. And Supabase is my go-to when it comes to storing data for my FlutterFlow no-code apps. And so if you want to master Supabase, go ahead and check out my flagship training called Mastering Supabase. That pretty much tells you everything that you need to know. You're going to be mastering tables, relationships, views, functions, anything that you need to know to take your apps to the next level. Go ahead and check out the second link in the description called Mastering Supabase. And when you join Mastering Supabase, you're going to gain access to an amazing community where you can ask questions just about anything. And that includes access to our private Discord server where we're always ready to help you out regardless of what you're working on. So if you're looking to build amazing apps with Mastering FlutterFlow and Mastering Supabase, go ahead and check out my flagship trainings that are going to take your knowledge to the next level.
Now, the next thing I want to work on is the workout history page. And on this page, we are going to list all the completed workouts. And the idea is if we go to workout logs, you see we have this one log entry. And so that means for this plan, just on this date, it was completed, right? Because the plan might have multiple days, 3-day split, 4-day split. And so this one day, that's a Monday, by the way, has been completed. And so I went ahead and I created a GraphQL query that can filter on that specific date. Okay, so on that specific date, this is all the values that we get. And this is perfect for us because later on, if the person for that plan does the next day, so let's say they open the app on Tuesday and they do it, it's going to say day number 1, different duration, same plan, same user ID. We're going to have more records, right? We're going to have more records. But right now, this is what we have. And so this is really cool because we can simply cycle through this, execute this query with this parameter here, right? Changing this day number and get all the values that we need to display. We're basically expanding this, okay? So let's go ahead and implement this. I'm going to go ahead and create another API call, log history. In fact, yeah, let's just do that. Let's just duplicate it. A lot easier. And this is get log history here. And everything is the same except this is different, right? Now we need to have this. And let me go ahead and save it. There's a formatting. Let me double check that. See if that works. Okay, so this should do it. This saves. We format it. We don't need variables. Well, the only variable we need is the day week, which is an integer this time, because that's what we need to get the data. So if we go over here, where is it? Yeah, day number. That's what we need. Actually, I'm gonna even call it day number, day week number. Come back over here and see if I can copy it over here. Okay, we're gonna save this and now we can test it out. So let's say we want for 0, it's gonna give us all the things that we need. Okay, so now we're getting all the stuff and this is basically, it's expanding the history log. Okay, so we're gonna remove all this and now what do we need? We need created that and basically we can get all of these edges, right? Yeah, I think we can get all of these edges. So like the top level, because we do need this created at, and then we can get the other things such as the muscles, basically. So we need the edges at the top level. So right here, this is what we need, right? Edges, node. Yeah, this one's what we're gonna start from here. So these are our, actually, let's do this. Let's do it separately. I'm gonna get the date. I'm gonna get the date, and then I'm just gonna get the muscles that we did. So like these edges, workout days collection. Okay, Monday we did that. Yeah, it's just one day. So edges, I think they're exercises. Yeah, I think we just need exercises. Day, we have the day. Actually, we need the day number. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna get these edges here. Yeah, we need the day number, and so let's go ahead and do that. So what do we want to get? We want to get this edges. So workout collections edges. I think this one or this one. This one, I think. So this is our exercise list. Okay, so we have the date and then we have the exercises, right? Perfect. And then we have the day number, we have the exercise, and then we also have the date at a little bit before the high level. Now let's go ahead and create this UI. It's going to be very similar to this one. I'm just going to duplicate it and I'm going to say history. And this is workout history. And it's basically going to have a list. I'm going to delete that. Just going to put a text. I'm going to delete this one. This, we don't really need even a button. I'm just gonna, yeah, we don't need the button, we just need this. So it's just going to be 3 rows. 3 rows, and this is gonna say the date, and so this is gonna be the date. This is going to be the muscle, the name of the name of the plan maybe, and then we have day, and then we have the muscles. And so this is going to be the date. Let's go ahead and wrap this card into a list widget. Now this list widget is going to execute our API call. Get log history. We need the day week number. Okay, so actually what we need to do is this is going to execute our Supabase query. Get the logs. We're going to filter by the user ID. For each item, we're going to execute a query to expand it. Okay, that's one way of doing it. On the card level, I'm going to go ahead and expand it, and I'm going to pass the day week number. And so this right here is going to be the date, right, that we did it. So if we come over here, we have this created at, and we can do this. And then this over here is going to be the name of the plan. Do we have the name of the plan? We have the plan ID. Let me see if we can get the name of the plan here. Logs, workout plans, days collection. Edges, name. No. Title is it? Yeah, 3-day split. Okay, so we have that. We can get that. So we can simply go over here and we can just get what we need to get. So I'm gonna get the title. I'm gonna do it here. And let me get the title. It's not giving us oh, we need to change we've changed it a little bit. We need to change this thing. So how are we doing it? Workout plans title. Workout plans. Come back over here. And now we have the title, and now we can even save it. Okay, so come back over here. Next, we can come back here, workout title. Okay, and then here we can just list the muscles, right? We can have another list, and we can do this here, list view card, put that in there. Let's give it a little bit of padding, and then give it a little bit more padding here. And then here we can just list the muscle groups and the day number and the muscle groups. So we can go over here, and so this is going to be our exercise list. Oops. On the list view. Perfect. And this is exercise rec. And then we have this. And here we can get what we need to get, right? So we don't have any predefined paths, so we'll need to do it manually. And so we have the exercise record, right? So if we come over here, we're doing these edges. So we need to go for the node days of the week. So actually, yeah, so we have nodes days of the week, and then we have the muscles. So nodes days of the week. So yeah, is it node days of the week? So we're actually, let me see. Yeah, we're going through this list. Am I right? Which list is this? Exercise list. It could be this list. It would be better to go through this list here. Let me see if we have it done. Yeah, node day number. Yeah, this is perfect. Exercise list is exactly what we want. And so if we go over here, this is not, we have our 3-day split. This is the workout title, and then we have this list, edges. And so, but we're filtering by the day number here, right? So we're only going to have one value here. And so what we really want is, we want to get these edges here. These are the muscles. We want to get these muscles, but this is only going to be one value. Okay, and so we don't really need a list. We just need to display the value. The exercise list, it's only going to have one value, so it's just first. And then what we want is we want a JSON path. We want to get the day of the week, or actually we want to get the day number. So we're doing this exercise list, which gives us this. So we need node and day number, and that's going to give us the day. And then later we can list all the muscles that we did, and we can just simply list them on one line. So we can simply do this, duplicate that, and here we can just list the muscles. So exercise list, we have the day number, so we can do this, and here we can use something like this: node workout day exercises, workout edges, then again node, and all this. So we can capture all of them. So that should hopefully work, and that will give us all of them, right? So we can format them any way that we want. I'm just going to do a little bit of padding so that we can see if it's there. This row has a lot of padding. We don't need that much. We can just do it from here. We can do it on the bottom too. All right, and let's go ahead and give it some room. Probably doesn't need that much room, but doesn't hurt. All right, let's go ahead and run this and see if it works as expected. All right, let's go ahead and do this. Okay, we're having some issues with the layout, it seems. Let me double check what we have wrong with the layout. And actually, we need to change something like this. And let me see. Create tag, yeah, history is going to be last. Okay, that's fine. So let's take a look. So it's definitely going to be the list view that has problems with the layout. So we're going to expand it, and we're going to remove the shrink wrap, and that should probably do it, because column expands as much as it needs, list view expands, card, everything expands as much as it needs. So once we give list view its expansion, it's fixed now. It knows how much it can expand and how much it cannot expand. Let's go ahead and get the latest code. Okay, still issues. Yeah, what I meant to do was for the text. I meant to do the text expansion, not the row expansion. Day number, we don't need that, but we may need it for this. That's the secret. This is why it's expanding. And here we can do it like this. In fact, day number is never going to overflow anything. Okay, let's go ahead and try this again. Okay, and now you have it. So as you can see, it looks good. Look at that. Thursday, 3-day split. This is day 0. We need to, do that. Or day 1. Probably day 1, we want to say, not day 0. And looks good. Let's go ahead and fix it up a little bit. Let's make this a little bit bigger. 16. Let's make it a little bit bolder. This one, that's the name. Maybe a little bit bigger, 15. And then this one is the day. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this, I'm going to combine it, and I'm going to say day, and that's going to be day, and we need to add 1 to it, right? So I'm going to do this, copy it, we're going to do inline, we're going to add an argument, and this is going to be a string because it's JSON, it doesn't know yet, right, string, but we're going to parse it, we're going to say int parse var1, and we're going to add 1. Is the return type? No, string integer. So that's going to say day 1, day 2, not day 0 anymore. Let's make this a little bit bigger as well. And let's go ahead and see how it looks. And there we have it. So it's a little bit bigger. Day 1, we have this. That's it. So we only had 1 day today, right? And that's what we have, right? So I think our filtering, is our filtering correct? Let me double check. User ID bot. What about this filtering? Day number, yeah. So day number is 0. So yeah, it's using that day number and it's printing today, but really that day number is really, what is that? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. It should be 4, right? Or 3. 0, 1, 2, 3. 3, because 4 would be Friday. And so now, if we do this, if you run it, come over here, it should match up correctly. And so now, if I change this to day 3, this is what it shows, right? It pulls up the data for day 3, okay? So in this split, there's no day 4, there's no Thursday. So even though this says Thursday, there's no Thursday in this split, okay? And so we can change that. So if you go in here, we have plan ID 46. We can go to days and we can change this to 3. So now we have a split where it's Monday, Tuesday, Thursday. And so now if we go to logs and we change this to 3, it's going to pull up the data. Okay, so now everything matches up. 3-day split, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday. This is day 4, which is, well, yeah, it shouldn't be. We have a 3, we're adding it. So it should be, this should be 2, right? Hypothetically, because this is the 3rd day. So it really, yeah, so this is the 3rd day. So we don't, we don't want to add it if we don't need to. And so here, we don't really need to add 1 to it, right? Because it's already taken that into account. Let me go ahead and fix that. We just need to parse it. Firm, come back here. And this is what we have. 3-day split, day 3, which is a Thursday, because it's Monday, Tuesday, Thursday. So we don't need to add 1 to it. That's fine. And that's how we have it. And so next time we do another day, it's going to have another record here. Okay? Really, really cool. Now, the next thing that I want to work on is some AI functionality. So we want to build a feature that will allow our users to generate a plan automatically, right? So instead of going through this plan wizard here, they'll be able to do it automatically, okay? So let's go ahead and do that. I'm just going to duplicate this page here, and I'm going to say this is AI generate, okay? And this is our plan, AI plan generator. And it's just going to ask him for a prompt. That's it. That's all it's going to do. So I'm going to delete this card, and I'm just going to say prompt, enter prompt. And I'm going to go ahead and maximize this. And that's it. We can also center it right here. We can center it on the page, but why don't we just keep it how it is? And I'm going to make this prompt a little bigger like this. And we're going to say generate plan. And I also want to change our bullseye. I don't know, let's go to our font awesome, so something like this. Let me go ahead, rearrange it, create plan, create. I'm gonna put it in the middle. All right, and so now we have this UI here to generate the plan. Now I built a prompt that we can use, and so I'm gonna go ahead and create a new API call here. And if you want, you can also use this AI agents feature as well if you'd like, but I'm gonna go ahead and create an API call. So this is plan generator. And so here's the prompt that we have here. Okay, so we're going to be feeding it exercise data, and we're going to be feeding it the prompt. Okay, and it's going to go ahead and give us this back in JSON format. So let me go ahead and quickly create it. Okay, so I'm going to say this is generator prompt. This is kind of how the body is going to look like, right? This is going to be post. We have the body, JSON format, and we need to send these, go ahead, and we also need the URL. I'm going to be using Open Router, and we need authorization and content type application JSON. Okay, we've saved that. We don't have any parameters right now. Oh, let me go ahead and do that. Let me put in a fresh key here. Save it. Let's see if that works. Okay, so now it is working. And so now we can send in our own prompt, the one that we have prepared. And so this is the prompt right here. I'm going to go ahead and copy that. It needs to be over here. Okay, here's our prompt. And let's go ahead and see if it works. And there it is. We're getting stuff back. Here's the assistant. Here's the content. We just need to parse it correctly. But looks like it's working. And of course, we're going to be feeding it our own exercises from our own exercise table so that it could pick the right exercises as well. Okay, so if we execute it, this is our response over here. Okay, so we have all of the stuff here. Now, what we need to do is we need to send some data here as well. So here we have the exercise data, and this is how it's going to be formatted. Name, muscle group, equipment, difficulty. We also want to send the exercise ID as well. Okay, because we wanted to figure it out, because it's not good enough to have all of this. We need the exercise ID that we get back. So I'm going to put exercise ID here, and I'm going to save it. And now what we need to do is we need to create a variable, which is going to be a string that we can paste directly. Okay, so these are our exercise data, and I'm going to make it a string right here, and that way we can pass it directly, go into body. Let's go ahead and find it right here. So this is where it's going to be our exercise data. Let me get this correctly. Okay, so there we have it. All right, so I have my values here, right? So what I'm doing is I'm using ID, name, all of these fields, and all of them are separated by commas and then separated by this pipe here, by this pipe symbol. Okay, so that's going to paste it in there. The only thing that we want to change is a little bit of the prompt. So if you come back here, we have these exercise data here, and so what we can do is we can say pipe separated, change that, pipe separated format, and we're also passing in the ID. So it's ID, name, muscle group, equipment, difficulty. So we're going to save that, and now is the moment of truth. Will it get us what we want? Gonna test this out, and looks like we got something back. Let me go ahead and parse this. And we also want to add the ID, right? So the ID of the exercise, right? So we're gonna do this very quickly, ID, and then ID is just a number, and that number is just gonna be like this, 11, for instance. Okay, so this looks good. Okay, let's go ahead and save that. Let's go ahead and execute this and see what we get. Okay, so it looks like it has changed it. Let's see if we're getting the ID in there. Num days, day of the week, Monday, day label, exercises. So it's gotta be right here. ID 14. Dumbbell overhead press. 14 dumbbell overhead press. Looks good. Looks good. Let's scroll down. There's 15 resistance band bicep curls. 15. Yep. Okay, so we know this works, and we know we're getting back this content. And so we want to save it here. Let's go find this content right here. Add a JSON. This is our content response, or response content. And we still need to create another variable to track the actual prompt, because we have a prompt, but the user might want something specific. And so we're gonna say this is the prompt. We're gonna save this. All right, so I went ahead and tweaked the prompt a little bit. And here's the prompt. Here's the input. Let's say 3-day push-pull split for muscle gain. Okay, so something like this. We're gonna go ahead and test this out. Also save it and see what we get back. All right, so this is what we get back. 3-day push-pull split. Perfect for muscle gain. And so should be fine, right? Should be fine. And let's go ahead and build out this app, and then we'll see how it looks. Let's go ahead and wire everything together. So this is our prompt. And when they click on it, it's going to go ahead and run that. We need to delete this because this was there because we duplicated the page. And so now we're going to go ahead and do a API call, generator prompt. We're going to set exercise data. Let's set the prompt first, and now the exercise data. So the exercise data is going to be sent from a custom function, okay? Because we need to convert stuff and things like that into a format that it understands. And this custom function is going to respond in a string, not nullable, but the arguments is it's gonna accept the list of rows from this table, from this exercises table, okay? And so let's go ahead and save this. Let's give it a name. This is our exercise. See if I can start doing it manually and then let it finish it. Okay, so this is my pseudocode, and I'm going to use AI to finish this function for me. Okay, so this is what it came up with. Something like this. And let's see if this works. Go ahead and compile this. Okay, looks like it compiled successfully. We can feed our custom function this get exercise list. And the question is, do we have that? We don't have it. Okay, so we need to first get it. All right, so we're going to do a query, exercises. That's it. No filters, nothing. Exercise. Now we can just pass it. No, it does not. Okay. We need to use this custom function, and now we can pass list. Okay, and this is going to be action output. Okay, and so now it can execute it. But before that, I want to print it. And so now hopefully it can execute it and give us the response. So I'm going to go ahead and get the response, and I'm going to say test, and we're going to say API. See what we got back. Actually, not even JSON body. We have the predefined path. We have the response content. We still have to parse it. But if we see it here, we are good to go. Okay, so we have this. Let's come over here. Let's pull the latest. Go ahead and do this. Okay, coming over here. Now we can have a prompt. And the prompt that I want to use was the same one we used before. I'll paste. Okay, let's see if that works. And looks like it's working. 3-day, yep, perfect. Look at that. This is not scrollable, but at least you see it. Look at that. 11 dumbbell press. Looks good. So now all we need to do is we need to get this JSON, and we need to parse it. We need to parse it out so that we can use it. We can do something with this JSON, okay? And so what that means is that it works. And so now we need a custom action to parse this JSON, right? So the argument is going to be string, JSON string, return value is the JSON. It's going to be dynamic, just JSON. And now what we need to do is we need to parse this JSON. So JSON convert, and we also need, and this is just JSON string. So it's telling me that it's not nullable. Okay, we're going to save it. And now what we can do is we can print it. I didn't call it anything. Converts string to JSON. Something like this. That is good. Come back over here, open this up, and now we can use it. And we're going to pass it our action out output, JSON body, predefined path, response content, and that's going to convert it. And now we get the custom action out, and we can display it. Now we get this JSON. What we can do is we can display something specific. So if you run this, once we've parsed the JSON, we can display something specific there. So for instance, we have, and so over here, we can, instead of displaying this whole JSON, we can take it, we can do JSON path, and we can display something like this, because that is the first thing that we see. Okay, so if that works, it's just going to display the plan name, pull the latest. Let's go ahead and do that. Take our prompt and run it in the simulator. Allow paste, and let's see what happens. And there it is. That's the name. So everything is working, all the parsing is working, everything is perfect. And so right now we are able to get the user to enter a prompt and generate a plan based on what they're asking, plus the exercises that we know about, that we have stored in our database table. All right, so now that we have this working, the next thing that we need to do is we need to actually generate the data, take the result and create the tables and all that. And we're going to start with the workout plan, and then we're going to take the ID and go towards the workout days here. And then we're going to take these IDs and go and fill out the workout exercises. So let's go step by step. If it succeeds, we can display the, we can actually, you know what we can do? Is convert this to a snack bar, just to make it a little bit less intrusive. And we can say something like, and then that's going to display the plan name. Okay, so we can delete this. And now what we can do is we can create the plan first, right? So this is the easy one. Insert row, workout plans, user ID is us. Title is, we know the title. So we have it there. Plan name. Number of days, let's go ahead. Okay, so this is what our JSON looks like. Okay, so we have the plan name, we need num of days, and I'm just gonna copy this, paste, and I'm just gonna use num days, and we have num days, and source. So source, I mean, we can put AI. So now that we have this plan, we're going to get the ID, and we need to create the days. And so depending on how many days, that's how many records we need to create. And so here we're going to create a loop. So we can go over list, which is a little bit easier. And the way this is going to work is that action output, out1, we are going to do, no, not out1, because that's just inserting. It's going to be action output. It's going to be, I guess it's this one, right? JSON body, JSON path, and we want to go over the days, and we don't really need to fill out anything here. We have a loop, and so now for each item we want to insert a record here. Okay, so insert workout days. So the plan ID is going to be what we inserted, right? So if we go here, action outputs is going to be this out1, and we're going to get ID. Day number, so day number is going to be the day. And so what we're going to do is we're going to get this Monday, right? We're going over the days here. And so we're going to come in here, current, we're going to say JSON path, and we want day or week. And here we can use something like this. So we can get this day of the week. We can copy this, and we can come over here, and what we can do is we can do an inline function. We're going to get an argument, which is the string. And that's going to be this thing, day of the week. And then we're going to do something like this. And that's going to take Monday and convert it into 1. And that's going to take the actual value here, var1, this one. And it's going to take the string Monday or Tuesday and convert it into the value, okay? Which is what we want. We want just the integer there. So that works. And we also need the label. So what is the label? Day 1. And we also have day or week. But the problem is we did not refresh the database. We will do that in a second. But anyway, label is day 1, day 2, whatever. So we're gonna combine this, and we're gonna say day, paste this. Actually, I'm just gonna paste this. I'm gonna take this, paste this, label, and then day, whatever the day is, whatever we got here. Okay? So that is gonna do it for X amount of days that we have in our JSON. Next thing we need to do is the exercises for each day. And so what that means is that we need to create another loop inside, right? Because we have these days, right? And we have the days, but each day can have multiple exercises, right? So you see this thing has 2 exercises, then this has 1, this has 1. And so we need to create another loop. So I'm going to add another loop. And this loop is going to be over list. And we're going to go into outputs. We're going to get this one as JSON body, JSON path. And now what we want is we want days. It's not going to be this. It's going to be current item of loop 1, right? Because we're looping over this one, this right here. We're looping over this, and here we can just get the exercises. Very, very simple. So all we need to do is exercises. So that becomes a loop in the middle, inner loop, right? We have the outer loop and we have the inner loop. And here we're going to be doing an insert row, and we want to insert workout day exercises. So I'm going to delete that. So workout day ID, it's going to be workout day. This gets back a workout day ID. So I'm just going to do workout day. And this one, I'm going to say workout plan. So they're a little kind of self-descriptive. Okay. So workout day record here. And so now what we can do is we can get this workout day action output workout day record, and we can get the ID. We need the exercise ID, which we should have in the exercises, right? So we have this thing exercises action output. We're getting this. No, what we want is current item of exercises. So loop 2, we're going to do JSON path, and then inside exercises, we should have the ID, and we do have the ID. Okay, so there's the ID, and then sets, reps, same thing. What do we have? Wait, I don't even know if we're getting wait. Rest and let me put something for wait just to check. Rest in seconds, we are getting that, I believe. Rest seconds. And this order, I'm not really sure. I'm just going to put something else. I guess it's the order of the exercises. And that looks good. Do we have any issues? Yeah, we have some warnings, but no errors at all. Yeah, we have like this thing is disabled. We can delete that. That's going to remove that warning. All right, so now AI generate. We have a lot of cool stuff going on. So we have that prompt API call. We convert it to JSON. We show them the snack bar. And then we insert into workout plan record. And now is the first loop. Okay, and then we have the inner loop. So this is the days, and we're inserting it, right? So we're saying ID, workout plan record, and then the day number, we have that. And then we have an inner loop, exercises, current item of loop 1, right? And then current item, and this is going to go the ID, day record, workout day record. And now this is where we get into current item of loop 2, which is this loop right here, the inner loop. So ID, all that other things. Okay, so this looks good. Let me go ahead and delete the other things so that we start fresh. Let's go ahead and reload our app. This is what we want. We want to allow it, and let's see what happens. Okay, so it says successfully generated plan. Why do we have an error here? Okay, that's not a problem. And let's go ahead and see if we have it. So let's start off with a plan. There's the plan, right? 3 days, sources AI. Let's go into workout days. Workout days is nothing, and that is nothing again. So there was an issue here somewhere generating workout days. Null check on a null value. Okay, so why we have it? So it's something with the AI, and we are okay. JSON body. So we have this loop index. API result is nothing. Is it? Let me double check. It's failing right here. It's this first loop is failing. It's this over list. API result TKDH. Is that right? TKDH. Yeah, it's not using the right one. It needs to be using this custom action out. It needs to use this API JSON parse. That's the problem, because it's using the string. So what that means is that I'm going to go ahead and we're using days JSON parse. And fortunately, well, we need to change it everywhere, I think. Now, exercises, current item of loop 1. No, we don't have to change it everywhere. It's just once. All right, let's see if that works. Let me go ahead and delete this. Let's go ahead and restart that. Generate the plan. Okay. And it keeps going. It went a little bit, presumably to generate, to create these tables. Here's the record, 48 days. There it is. 48. We have 3 days, day number 135. So I'm assuming that's Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And if we come over here, we have the exercises, right? There's a ton of exercises. And you see, there are 3 exercises on this, 3 exercises on this, 3 exercises on this. And so now we have a working plan. Okay, and so that's Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Today is a Thursday, so I should not see anything because I don't have a plan, right? We have my ID over here. And if we go to home, no workout schedule because it's a Thursday. But if I change it, say I go into days and I make this 4. I change that to 4, and I think it uses this Monday. We need to actually make sure we're doing this Friday. That's Thursday. And so now if I come over here, let's say switch over, and now we have our workout. So this is my new split. Look at that, barbell deadlift 4x6, this, and if I do this and workout, congrats, I go into my logs and I have this completed, day number 4. And so now if I go back, it's telling me all workouts completed because we had that in there completed. Okay, looks really good to me. And obviously I can create a new plan, I can do all that, and I can go from there. Really, really nice, don't you think? All right, so the app is starting to come together, but there's one last feature that I really want to do that I think is going to be very, very useful to our users, and also showcase another aspect of FlutterFlow, and that is creating a chart, right? So that way the user can see their progress over time, how many workouts they've completed in a particular period of time, such as a week or month, etc., etc. And so let's go ahead and duplicate one of these pages so that we have the same look and feel. I'm just going to call it chart, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to delete all this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this. I'm going to delete this. And here I'm going to put a chart. Okay, so now we have this chart. And before we work with the chart, let me just modify this. I'm just going to say workout chart, something like this. Okay, now this chart widget is actually fairly powerful. You can customize it in many ways. You can send all kinds of data to it. And so if you click on it, you can customize it, for instance, by changing the chart type. So in this particular example, we're going to be doing a bar chart. And so it's going to appear like this. And you can also do some interesting customization, colors, borders, labels, you name it. And so once we have this, we want to select the data source and we want to do numbers lists. And here you need to specify the bar labels and the bar values. So the bar labels are going to be, the stuff on the bottom on the x-axis, and the bar values are going to be the actual values, right? The workouts, per day, etc. And so we need to send a list here, and also we need to send a list here as well. And so we're going to be doing that in a second. But I want to show you some of the other things that you can customize. So you can also have a legend here, which I don't think we're going to be needing. But I do like the grid aspect. I think grid is kind of cool. Also, the border is kind of nice. So it's up to you if you want to do a grid or not. We'll just leave it on for now. And another thing that you can do is you can customize both the x-axis and the y-axis. Okay, so you can enter text that's going to appear below, and so we're going to say days of the week, and here you can customize anything that you want. You can also show labels, right? Makes sense. And I guess if you want to show labels, probably we don't need days of the week because it's going to be self-explanatory. And if you scroll down, you have the y-axis, same thing. And you also want to show labels, and here it gets interesting because you have the label interval, and you also have something called the reserved size. The reserved size is how much size it takes. Okay, so that's probably too much. We can make it like 25. That's better. And the label interval is going to be 1. Okay, so now it's going to go 1, 2, 3. So it's going fairly high, and that's why you can't see them. But when we get the data fed in correctly, you'll be able to see like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, which is going to be applicable in our case. That is our quick customization of the chart. Now the fun begins, and this is where you're going to be sending all kinds of data. And so let's first talk about bar labels, right? So if you click here, you need to send a list of anything, which is going to be the labels here, okay? And unfortunately, we don't have like an inline function that we can configure. So what we need to do is we need to create a custom function. We're going to click here. We are going to be returning a list of strings, and we're not going to be taking any parameters. This is going to be called get labels. Okay, fair enough. And here we can simply return a list such as this: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So we're going to save that. And so now we have that. This is going to appear here in the bottom. And the next thing that we need to do is we need to return the values. Now for values, I have a special function that I want to show you. But before I do that, I want to show you how sample data is going to look. So we're going to click here. We're going to create a new function, and this is going to be called get values, and we're going to be returning a list of integers, and we're going to just make it something like this: return. And these are going to be values, meaning the number of workouts for a particular day of the week starting with Monday. So 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 1. Okay, how many is that? That's 7. Okay, perfect. And what this means is that on Monday we had no workouts, on Tuesday we had 1, on Wednesday we had 0, and so on. So I'm going to save that, and now it's feeding it. Okay, so at this point we have enough, right? We have enough. Let me check what we have over here. Okay, that arrow went away. And now the only thing is left is to compile these functions, which is going to do right now. Shouldn't be a big deal. Okay, all done. So now we don't have any errors. So now I'm going to jump into my IDE, and I'm going to pull the latest here. Okay, all done. And I'm going to restart my app. Here's my app. And this one is our chart. And as you can see, it is exactly what it's supposed to be, right? So we have 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1. Not sure. Maybe that is 1 over there. So, but we have some issues here. We have some overflow, right? Issues, text overflow. It's kind of flowing in there, and so we have to fix that. So let's go ahead and fix this chart over here. We're gonna set the width 100 and the height 250, and I'm gonna fix this. We have some padding there. I'm gonna remove the padding. I'm gonna make it just 10, and we have a container over there that's kind of maxed out in its row. That looks good and looks good to me. Let me double check if we have everything set up. Numbers list, we have labels. Let me double check the labels. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So 7 labels. And let me double check the values. Okay, so it is 1, 1. Yeah. So it's, yeah. So Saturday and Sunday, we both had one workout. Because, you know, it's a weekend. You have time to hit the gym, to do a little bit of a workout. And so now, let's go back to our IDE. Let's pull the latest, restart our app. And now, this is what it looks like. It's still overflowing. I'm going to fix that. No worries. I'm going to fix that. This needs to be changed. And we also need to change the icon. Let's go ahead and do that right now. Let's go ahead and change the icon, chart, and we have a lot of data coming in because we've duplicated that page. So I'm going to remove all this data fetching. Okay, that is done. And now let's take a look and see what's happening here. So the width is 100, height is 250. We have this card. It gives it a little bit of padding. Looks good to me. Looks really good. Okay, let me see what happens. Let me change one of the values here. Get values, let's do 2. So on some day we did 2 workouts. Save that, compile it. Okay, looks good. Let's try that again. Okay, there's still a little bit of an overflow, but at least it works. I'm gonna go ahead and see what the issue is over there. There's a little bit of an overflow. Okay, we'll see. We'll fix that in due time. But right now, everything works. The only issue is that we're not getting real data right now. And so how do we get real data? Well, I went ahead and I created a GraphQL query that you give it a user ID, you give it the first date of the week, the last date of the week, or any time period that you want. And it gives you all the workouts for that day. Okay, and so what we need to do with this data is once we have this data, what we need to do is we need to tally it up for each day, right? Because we have 2 independent workouts on the same day, right? And this looks like it's Thursday, so on the same date. And so first, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to get this implemented. So we're going to come here and we're going to duplicate one of our APIs. I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this one and we're going to call this chart. And everything is the same except the body is going to have this filter here, okay? So if we come over here and we can take this filter, but we need to make sure that it's on one line. This is not going to work, right? Because they're carriage returns, right? So we need to make sure it's on one line. And so I already did that. So if we go over here, basically asked AI to convert it into a one-liner, copy that, go back over here, and we need to save this chart view. We have it here, and we need to modify this, right? So let me double check. It starts with this, so this needs to go after this. And now we've changed it. Now it's a one-liner. We can't save it because we have some errors. Namely, we need to escape the double quotes, and we should be good to go. Okay? Let's go ahead and test this out, see if it works. We're getting an error, and I think I know what it is. I think it's because of we need an extra curly braces. Let's see if that fixes it. Still didn't fix it. Let me go ahead and fix this. Okay, and now we're getting the values. And so as you can see, we get basically a list of our workouts on a particular day. This is the day, and this is the day number. Okay. And the reason we have the day number is that we can easily tally them on that number, right? The created that is going to be different, but the day number is the same, right? Yeah, I mean, we can fetch the date, but it's easier to just tally it up by the day number. And we're getting the values from this table here, right? Essentially, our workout logs. Now in production, we're going to be sending the user ID. We're also going to be sending the dates as well. But right now, this is just for testing. Okay, so we have this. Now we do have some variables that we do not need because we've duplicated this API call. I'm going to save this. We don't need those variables. We're going to have our own variables in a bit. But right now, I just want to show you how it works, right? So we have this chart view here. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to load this chart at the top level. So it's available throughout the page. I'm going to do this API chart view. And so even though we're getting the data, we're not done yet. We still need to tally it up before sending it as bar values, okay? So we need to modify this function. It needs to be getting that JSON as an argument, and it needs to tally it up and return the data that looks like this, okay? And so I'm going to add an argument because it's going to be accepting a JSON, okay? It's going to be JSON data. And now we need to write the function. And so I actually went ahead and I had the function done, okay? This is the function right here, and just going to rename this parameter just data because that's what it's looking for. And I'm going to change this here. And so this function, what it's going to do is going to take this JSON data that I showed you, right? This data here, and it's going to tally it up, right? It's just going to go through all the stuff, all the edges, and it's going to tally it up. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and save this. And now we need to pass in this data, right? So we're already doing this call. Just going to do no further changes, pass in the whole thing. And now we're going to have real data, real values, meaning that 2 workouts on a Thursday, 1 workout on a Friday. And so what do we have? This custom function. We don't really need to compile it because we're using an IDE. So we're going to pull the latest and we're going to restart our app. And now we should have a real chart with real data. And there it is, right? 2 workouts on a Thursday, 1 on a Friday. Exactly what's in our history logs, okay? Now, let's go ahead and see if we can fix a couple of things. So first of all, I want this to be before this, so we're gonna go into navbar and we're gonna drag. I want history to be last, so something like this. And now let's see if we can fix the issue there. What is going on with the issue? So it's container, it's got everything. Let's see what's going on here. Our bar charts, X, Y, reserve size, make it a little bit bigger. Width is 100%, height is 250. All right, so it looks like doesn't matter what I do, we still get that 2 over there for some reason, not showing correctly. Even if we specify a number here, custom formatting it as an integer and all that, it's still somehow not displayed correctly. But anyway, it could be a bug or some other issue. But regardless, one thing that you can do is you can just remove the labels, and then you can see your workouts like that without the labels. In fact, I think that's going to be a better approach. And so that might look a little bit better to you, right? Depending on the look that you're going for. And so one last thing that we need to do is we need to send data dynamically. Okay, so if we come back here, we have this chart view, and we need to send variables, right? So things like user ID, before date, after date. So I'm going to create these variables. I'm going to say date before, date after. So this is a string. All of them are strings just to make things simpler. And we're going to come back here and we're going to paste them in here. So this thing is our user ID. This right here is date before, and this thing is date after. Okay? And so now we need to send all that data in order to get a response. So I'm going to come back here. I'm going to copy this, paste that in there. And now we need to send the days as well. And so for instance, here's our before, here's after. We're going to save that. And now if we test it, we should get all the data as before. Okay, so one last thing left is that we want to send them in the app. We're going to edit this. We're going to add the values. So this is our user ID. This is before, and this is after. So the user ID is auth user. The date before is going to be the first date in the week. Okay, and we need to calculate that. So we're going to be using this inline function option, and we're just going to calculate it right here. And we're going to use this expression here. And for day after, we're going to use another similar expression. There we go. And that's actually should be the other way around, not like this. It should be the other way around, but you guys understand, right? Before is the first date, after is the other date. So they should be reversed because it should be after this date, before this date, but you guys get me. And so now we have this. Let's go ahead and test this out. And it still works now using dynamic variables, right? So this is obviously going to work different for different users, different log history, etc., etc. And remember, guys, you can take this app as far as you want to go. You can add new features, you can change the colors, you can change the skin, you can you can customize it in any way that you want. And if you're a member of our amazing Patreon community, you'll be able to view and or clone this exact app from your computer, right? You'll be given a link. You'll also be able to ask questions, get advice, get support. And not only this app, you'll be able to get access to all my previous apps as well as all my future apps. And I plan on building many other really interesting apps. So we have an amazing Patreon community. And above all, you're going to be supporting this channel and supporting my work. So definitely click the first link in the description to learn more and hopefully become a member.